UN Space Wolf Squadron. This is your Wolf Commander Wolf Tan. I'm your werewolf, back again with the day of all days. We have been prepared for this for quite some time now. I'm here with the Lady of Valor, one of my wingmen, Leiaplussize. Say hello to everybody, Leia.
Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me well, but how you doing, everybody? I'm glad to
Please let
be
her
here.
know. Please let her know that our mic is working. Please let her know that you guys can hear her fine because we almost experienced a bit of a technical difficulty before we started. Just letting you guys know for behind the scenes there. Today our topic will be talking about pandering in media, how audiences are being attracted to this whole idea of that we need representation, this whole my representation, this need to be feel represented, to feel special about yourself in life in these media, and the media jockheads that are keep trying to push this idea that they're trying to do something for us. Speaking of those who are different ethnicities, and I do mean whites, blacks, browns, yellows, oranges, whatever. Take your pick. Green if you have to, and I do mean that cheddar. But yes, you heard me correctly, guys. Even I consider white people as ethnic minorities too. They're starting to become one in this day and age. I mean, I said this in previous streams before. I'm willing to do a me man march and rub elbows with white men. If we gonna march, we gonna march. You know what I'm saying? But that's not here or there. That's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about real life experiences or what's going on outside the media. We're going to be talking about what's inside of the media and why it's wrong for them to be pandering to us time and time again. Your black Batwomans, your black Tim Drakes, from what I heard coming up. You got another black non-binary Flash. That's oh my goodness, I'm about ready to hurl. Okay. Before we start, Leiaplussize, let me welcome who's in the chat right now. We got a lot of host of people here. Oh my goodness, we got 8 people watching. This is feels a little overwhelming. Don't you agree, Leiaplussize? That's your cute.
Yeah, I didn't know I was going to attract that many people.
Well, you are quite the celebrity.
I didn't know that. Honestly, I didn't. I really. Oh, I'm honored. I'm quite flattered by this. I didn't know we were going to have so many people, but I'm happy about it. I'm glad you're all here. So that makes me happy. But I just didn't know I was that big.
Proud.
Calling card.
I'm very proud
so
of you, though.
I'm quite flattered.
I'm very proud of you. So let me
Thank you.
welcome who's here. We have Troy Pacelli, and he's being sneaky today. He says, "Don't tell my boss." But for Leiaplussize, I'll try my best to be here. Well, and Wolf Tamina, of course. Let me ask you this, Troy. What are you sipping on? we got the Maverick Hunter Saint Brian Gil Martin in the house as well. Our other wingman. Thank you for showing up. We have Matthew Flynn giving us his brand of hello. We've also have Melissa Harris, and she's just saying hello. She usually says she's not here. She's going to be here and take care of stuff and go on to other streams. But it seems like she's staying here for around this time. Either way, Melissa Harris, I'm so glad that you contribute your 2 cents and bring in your charm into this. And again, if you're staying, thank you for that. If you're going, that's okay. Catch this on the backwatch. We have the greatest of greats, Sound Engraver. Oh, hey there, Sound Engraver. Good afternoon, Wolf Tan and Leia. I've been teaching lessons, so try to catch what I can. Have a good stream. Thank you so much, Sound Engraver. And she also adds, I like the name for Leiaplussize, Lady of Valor. We'll get into why I call her that pretty soon.
Thank you, Sound Engraver. Sounds great.
Yeah, we'll get into why I gave her the moniker.
I like it.
I gave her the moniker Lady of Valor because we have Brian Gilmore as the the Maverick Hunter Saint. We have Owen Lister as the Guyver Patriot, the schooner of the tuna, schooner tuna. That's his call sign, the schooner of the tuna. And we also have another friend of mine who's also in spirit with us. He's not. Don't worry, guys. He's not dead, but he's not always here. He's not here all the time. But he is the traveling immaculate scribe, Ivan Mendoza. You've probably seen him a few times. We have Schooner Tuna, by the way. Speaking of the Schooner Tuna, who is here, he is here. We also have Monticelli, Netta's Network, also here, giving us her trademark. Hi, sweetie. Oh, we're going to see a flood of that. I can't wait to see that. And I think that's about everybody so far. Anyways, so I'm gonna let you lead this stream, Leiaplussize, because I'm pretty sure you have a lot to say to get off your chest. So go ahead and begin.
Okay, again, can you hear me well?
Loud and clear.
Can you hear me
Roger
good?
that. Really good.
Okay,
Everybody's saying the
all
same.
right, great. All right, that's great to hear. Well, yeah, you're right. The reason that I brought up this topic is because I think everybody here knows that this has been happening in our entertainment lately and in our favorite pop culture branches of this idea of pandering, and I also include race swapping as well, if I can say that. And it is just a topic that I really want to discuss because I think that there is a difference between how Hollywood is seeing it and how we in the media is seeing it. And if for me to get right to the point, pandering is something I think that Hollywood.
Uh-oh. We lost her. Oh no. She'll probably come back in. Uh-oh. That's not good. So we're dealing with technical difficulties on her end. Uh I don't know if I'm gonna add to that. Let me try to lead. Let me try to lead. So from what she was saying, that the whole race swapping, the whole turning white characters into black characters or Asian characters, or even replacing redheaded characters with black characters for some reason. We also There's also the whole. Oh, she's back. She is back. Sorry about that, Leia. You got disconnected there. Can you can you speak?
You there?
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Anything that happens, anything that bad happens can and will happen. Murphy's law. Now we're having trouble hearing your mic. Try to speak if you can. Okay. Radio silence. Leia, can you speak?
Can you hear me?
It's getting better. It's loud. I'm getting a bit of robot, but I can hear you. I can definitely hear you.
Okay, that sounds better. I flopped out for a minute. I'm sorry about that, everybody. I
It's fine.
disappeared for a minute there. I don't know what happened. I lost my connection. So can
You're
everybody
doing a
hear me
good
back
job.
again? Okay,
It's all
thank you.
clear.
Sorry about that.
It's
Okay,
fine. It's fine.
sorry
These
about
streams are
that.
never perfect.
Thanks. Yeah, you're
Continue. Continue what you were saying. I kind of add a little bit, but continue what you're saying. Uh-oh.
I'm here. Wolf, can you hear
Yes, I
me?
can hear you.
Okay, because I'm hearing a playback, but we talked about a few minutes ago.
Okay. You might you might have to just stick to StreamYard and close out the YouTube that you're in. That probably will help it a bit. If you got it in a tab, I
Yeah,
mean.
I'm hearing a playback, so I can't hear what you're saying right now.
How about now?
I'm still hearing. I can hear you, but I still hear the playback too.
Interesting. I might have to close myself out and try my end. We'll see. Let's try it.
Okay.
All right. How about now? Troy is saying mute your YouTube.
Sorry, everybody, about that.
All right. How about now?
Okay, sorry about that, everybody.
I think I could. I think I heard him myself as well. But you know what? Let's get continue what you were saying about the pandering, or at least the race swapping and all that jazz that they've been doing in the media.
Okay, I will go ahead and keep talking. Um, well, what I was saying is that the issue of pandering and race swapping is going on in Hollywood lately, and I just feel like Hollywood thinks they're doing something great, and they're really not. And they think that we as fans think it's okay or we're bothering into it, and we're really not. And I just think pandering is something that doesn't work. Okay. Can you still hear me?
I'm still hearing you. You're saying that pandering doesn't work, and they think what you're basically saying is that it's akin to throwing somebody a bone. I remember hearing this from I think it's from the conservative twins, a conservative YouTube comedians that I follow. That they're basically just eating off the plate of the I'm gonna sound crude for a bit, guys. I I'm gonna sound a bit crude, so be aware of what I'm about to say. It's basically you.
Yeah, I'm still here. I was listening to you.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm gonna be a bit crude, and I'm gonna say this. They're basically what they're saying is you're basically eating the scraps off the master's plate. Basically, that's and this is not just relegated to black people. It's relegated to every other ethnic groups. You're basically just eating the scraps off the master's table. Basically, you're catching the bone that's being flicked to you. That's how I'm seeing it so far. I mean, I'm going a bit
Yeah,
extreme there, but that's just how I'm seeing it. What's your take on that idea, or at least that notion? Go ahead, Leia.
I just think that this. I'm just saying that. Oh, I'm sorry. You know something, Wolf? Um, is it? Oh, can you still hear me well? I'm still hearing the playback, so I'm getting confused.
I'm hearing the play. I'm hearing you well. I think the playback is distracting you. Are you on YouTube too?
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, you might have to close that or mute it, so you won't get distracted.
Okay. Okay. Give me a check and give me a second, and I'll do that.
She's using her tablet, by the way, guys. She's still working out, still learning the tricks of this.
Okay.
I
Can you
can
hear
hear
me
you
now?
clearly.
Because the playback disappeared.
Yeah, I hear you clearly.
Okay. Yeah,
So
and that playback is gone. Okay.
so yeah, not not now I won't
We'll continue. I heard.
now I won't slow you down. Continue what you're saying.
Okay, thank you again. I'm sorry that everybody who's listening, we'll work these kinks out. Please be patient with me. I did hear some of the things you said before the couple happened. I think pandering is a political thing. I think I don't like it, and I don't like race swapping at all. I don't like what they're doing to a lot of my favorite characters that I have loved all these years. And Hollywood seems to think that this pandering or race swapping is, I think it's a political them because I think they feel that we as fans, as an audience, I mean, a good example of pandering or race swapping to me would be it's kind of like you go into a restaurant and you order your favorite meal. Let's say you want steak and eggs, and the waitress brings you liver and onions. Now, liver and onions are not bad, but that's not what you ordered. But she may say to you, well, in this restaurant, liver and onions for everybody because you don't know any better. That's how I see pandering and race swapping. And I think it's more political. It's not creative. I, for once, do not take it as creative. And a lot of the race swapping ideas that I have been doing, I have not been agreed with Mitch. I've talked about this several times. I am not crazy about Captain Falcon. I absolutely am not crazy about that. I think Sam Wilson is a fun character. I think Anthony Mackie does a good job with him. But I came into the MCU to see Steve Rogers. I did not come in to see Captain Falcon. So I am 100% not in agreement with that at all. And all my friends that have followed me and been with me with the MCU just think they call me the SJW because they say, why are you not down with Captain Falcon? What is so wrong with that? And I said, well, can't you see that it wasn't necessary for that decision to be made? And if he was fine the way he was as Falcon, there was nothing wrong with him at all. There was no reason for him to be uh, Captain America or the new Captain America. That decision it was nothing wrong with that. He was fine the way he was, but Hollywood feels no, that's not good enough. So you know what we'll do? Instead of recasting a new Steve Rogers, we'll just take Sam Wilson and we'll make him Cap. And I know why they did that. They did that because they figured they are pandering to us and think we're just going to swallow that pill. And I don't need that. I don't need that for me. I don't need every single character to be changed over that is Caucasian. And I noticed this with Caucasian males, particularly. Some people say even redheads. You don't need to swap every single character. There are plenty of characters of color in comic books and films and motion pictures that do not need to be swapped or pandered to. Do not get me started on Batwoman. I am no fan of that at all. Please stop. You don't
I'm
have to
sorry.
go
Who
there.
are you talking about?
The Batwoman show. The
Okay.
Batwoman show thing, which I have not watched. I don't know what's it about. I heard it's atrocious. I don't want to waste an hour of my life on that. But I think I hope I'm not talking fast, but I think
You know what's interesting
pandering
about
and race
that?
swapping is political. I don't think it's
You
creative.
want to know what's
I
interesting? I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but you know what's interesting about that whole decision
yes.
right there? That's actually
No, go ahead.
a very a new quote unquote new and original black character they create to replace Kate Kane for the show, and I'm like, the best thing you guys could think of is make her a drug dealer or at least a drug runner who for some reason is very skilled at hand to hand combat. We don't know what training she got that where that mind you, we don't know what training she got to get that. You could have easily made her a street brawler. That's like there's a ton of characters that are mostly street brawlers that are good at street brawling. That they go into the grain, they fight dirty. They it really emphasized a bit a way of better characterization of the character, and also apparently she's also good at some other devices and stuff. I'm like, you guys are really tarnishing the hero's journey here, or at least the build the what makes a hero build up. And also, she's a criminal, and yet she kind of stays as a criminal, but there's no inkling of her changing her ways to fight crime. We got something like that with Jason Todd already, but like you could still retell that story. We got a little bit of that from Terry McGinnis, well, he wasn't a criminal. He wasn't a criminal per se, but he did have a juvie record. He did serve juvie, but he was a in the case of Terry McGinnis, he's a combination of Tim Drake, Dick Grayson, and Jason Todd. You know, he's all three of those all in one, but he works
Mhm.
because there's that hero's journey build up into that factor. You can have all that and more when you put in the hero's journey. So I was giving a little side tangent about that Batwoman situation. So go ahead, continue what you're saying. I didn't mean to pause you there.
But no, that's fine. See, well, that's the problem. Hollywood doesn't know what a hero is or what a hero journey is. We all know they think a hero is what a person is versus who a person is. So they feel if they take first of all, let me just say, I have nothing against diversity. I'm all for diversity. I love all my heroes, black, white, green, blue, purple, striped, whatever. But the color and the gender is not what's important to me. What's important to me is the character as a person, because you have some black characters I like, and you have some black characters I don't like. So
Yeah,
just because you make that character a person of color, it doesn't have to be black, it could be Indian or Asian, whatever, you switch it from Caucasian, does not mean I'm instantly going to fall in love with this person. I feel like Hollywood is taking a lot of these characters and shoving it down our throats, saying, "You here, see, here you go. There's a black character for you, and you will love this character. And if you don't like this character, then you must be a racist." That's when they started throwing that at us, and they said, "Here, we like they're doing us a favor." Well, if like they're doing us a favor, some sort of favor that they're doing for us, or whatever reason they may have, or whatever guilt they may have. That's not storytelling. That's not storytelling. That's not storytelling developed. And they have forgotten what that means. And that's why a lot of pandering I don't go for. Another thing is my friends are just begging me to watch, what is it, Bridgerton? I think it's a show on Netflix called Bridgerton.
yeah,
You
me,
familiar with Bridgerton? I hope I'm saying it right. Anybody
yeah.
know about Bridgerton?
My wife had
Okay.
happened upon it. She was already here's the one thing I gotta share about my wife. She's Filipino, so she'll just click on anything and just watch it. It's
Okay.
mostly there for background music for her when she's doing her little social media stuff. She's not really like the social media type. She just communicate with her family while she watches stuff. Sometimes she'll watch it and take in what she watching. But yeah, I peeked at it a few times because I'm like doing my own thing on the side because we share the couch together. So she takes over it. You know, when I'm not in the mood to play video games, or or at least she'll be there until at least we do this discussions here, and then she'll quietly exit away, and I'll interact with her on the side. You know, you guys see me do it. You guys seen heard me do it. You know, I interact with her a few times. You know, on the side, but yeah, she watched it, and I'm like not getting this. I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's got people of different ethnicities in Britain, but I'm like, what's the setting here? You know, I can't really say much on it because she was only halfway done with it by that point because she watched it in her room on her devices and stuff. So by the time she was watching it here in our living room, I mean, she was already halfway done with it. I'm just looking at it and just watching. I'm like, it's okay. I mean, I just know that Twitter is gonna eat this show up about how progressive it is, how it's got people of color in it, it doesn't conform to gender patriarchy and gender norm. I'm like, that's it.
I'm hearing that.
That's all. My issue with when they talk about stuff like this, they don't talk about the stories. They don't watch it for the story. They just watch it for the fact that there are just people that they want to appeal to make them sound virtuous and morally superior. And I've made this comment in streams, and I loudly said it in me and my streams. They do not buy stuff like fans do. They want the novelty of looking at it behind a sheet of glass. Like they're basically window shoppers. That's all they are. They're window shoppers, and they're happy to see it there, and then just move on. That's it. They just want to see it on display. They're not going to buy it. They just want that superiority complex, thinking, "Yeah, we got it. We got this." What's your
Exactly,
take on that?
exactly. Well, when my fans kept beating it in my head to watch it, because I do like some period piece TV shows. I'm a big fan of Outlander.
I'm sorry.
So
Let me
I
stop you
said,
there. I have a question. I have a quick question. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. I have a
shoot,
quick question. Have you tried asking them why should I? Why is it imperative for me to watch it and hear their answers? Have you ever asked that?
I
Because my
haven't. I
mom,
think I should.
because my mom, I'm gonna share my mom too. Because she always say you gotta watch this, you gotta watch that, and I'm like, why should I? Or at least she'll. I necessarily don't have to ask her that. She sometimes tell me why, and sometimes her answers are not convincing enough for me to get into it. But that's a whole different topic to talk about when it comes to parents and folks and stuff like that. So continue what you're saying. Next, I'm just giving you something to ask them next time. So next time they tell you that, ask them why, and then hear their answers. I'm
That's
pretty sure you might get some interesting answers.
that's a
Go
good.
ahead.
I think I will either or not get answers because it's like
Yeah.
you said, no one has told me the story of what this is about. They've mostly told me it's blacks in power in wearing French clothes and dresses and corsets and like, well, there's a lot of stuff on TV that's like that. So what makes this any different? And
Mm-hmm.
the point I was going to say, and going back to what you were saying, when I first heard about the show, I was on with the idea. I said, "Okay, yeah, I like period pieces shows. I watched that, and then I watched a few episodes. I'm like, okay, wait a minute, there's something not right about this." And then I told them, "You're selling. This is selling a lie. You're selling a lie. Do they know their history of people of color in the 17 and 1800s? I don't think you'll be walking down the street with all that much power." And I said, well, did the people do their research? Did they do their research? Did they do their history? Did they do their homework? And it looks like they didn't. It looks like to me what they did is they took roles that would normally be for a Caucasian male and swapped it with people of color and said, here you go. Feel good about yourself now. Yay. That's the expression that I was getting. And I was not swallowing that pill. And most of my friends, that's what I try to tell them. They said, well, TV always sells lies. That if you're going to do something based on some sort of historical input, you can't lie about that. You can't fake that. You have to
Yeah.
base it on some sort of fact. And I know for a fact that people of color at that time did power. So now what I try to tell them is there's so many stories. You can do stories of people of color at that time, but you have to tell the truth. And is history ugly to us, to people of color? Yes, it is. But it's truth, and the idea is that you learn from it so that you don't repeat the same mistakes. I don't have to have every single character on TV look like me, walk like me, talk like me for me to like them. For instance, I do watch the show Outlander. Now, as far as I know, I'm not Scottish, so and I'm not English, but I enjoy the characters on that show and the story and the people. That what appeals to me. They don't have to look like me and walk like me for me to be good about myself. And one issue with pandering is that, and which I think is pushed by this virus of wokeism, with a sickness in Hollywood right now, that people need to see themselves in order to feel good about themselves, or to think a certain way. And I think that's what a lot of pandering does, which I think a lot of it goes back to politics, which is why we're not getting good entertainment. So that's why a lot of things they do, I'm not buying right now, and that's why I don't watch Bridgerton. I said Bridgerton is selling me a lie, and there are plenty of stories if they would read their books, which I don't think the writers of this show did. And see, it's insulting. I find it insulting because basically they're
Mm-hmm.
saying, well, just throw a couple of full of color in there and looking like their society, and they'll eat it up alive. They'll take anything. That's what they're thinking. I find it quite insulting. I do. And so that's one reason why that show doesn't appeal to me. Same with my superhero characters or the MCU or DC. They feel the same thing. Well, for some reason, they feel that if that person of color is not in some sort of power or authority or being a superhero, that will not make me feel good about myself. That is the biggest crop that I have ever heard ever in my life. I'm old enough now. I've been a geek all of my life. I have the characters that have appealed to me. I mean, I grew up, you get Lando Calrissian in the Star Wars movies. You've had Michonne on The Walking Dead. You've had I've had many
Mm-hmm.
characters that I have seen that were I like them not because of the color of their skin, but who they are as a person. They just happen to be people of color.
I'm
And
looking
see,
at the.
Hollywood does not write. I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm looking at the people in the chat. They're naming black superheroes. Come on, guys. I'm, I mean,
Am I missing
it's
any?
good.
Please name them.
It's good that you guys are naming black characters, but I need to hear some Mexicans too down there now. There's a lot
You
of
can name.
good. I mean, like y'all going for the black characters. I'm glad. I'm happy. I'm glad. But let's get some black. Let's get some Mexicans in there too now. Let's get everybody in here. Let's get everybody. I'm not talking about
You
we
can.
need to be inclusive. I'm saying name some no, seriously, name some really good ethnic group characters. Like you can even name your favorite Jewish superhero. You know what I'm saying? Name your
You can name
favorite
somebody Canadian if you want to.
yeah, there you go. Name your favorite Oriental or Asian um character. You don't necessarily have to just keep naming the black people. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm saying that's a good thing. But like, come on, y'all, bring some more ideas. I'm seeing it. I'm going to be getting to your comments too. I'll be definitely getting to your comments. But come on, give us a whole buffet. We got the dinner right now, but give us a whole buffet. I'm sorry. Continue, Leia.
In No, that's good. Everybody in the chat, you can name anybody that you want. Anybody that is a hero that you admire. You see, my avatar is Princess Leia, and I have been a Princess Leia fan since I was a child and I saw Star Wars in the theater. Leia also has always been number one for me as a female. I could care less if she's Caucasian. That didn't bother me. What I liked was her strength, was her femininity. She didn't have to drop her femininity to be strong. Her humor, all of those I think all those qualities that just make her who she is. But it's nothing to do with the fact that she's Caucasian and a female, but she's one of my favorite characters. Luke is number one with me, just like I have these examples from my childhood. For instance, with Star Wars, Luke Skywalker has been my hero since I saw him as a child. I didn't, when I went
Mm-hmm.
in that theater and I saw Star Wars, I did not care about the skin color or gender of these people. What I cared about was the story and who they were. So that is what was important to me. And I think Hollywood has swapped politics. They've swapped
You.
it for a political agenda, which is some crazy notion that we won't feel good about ourselves unless we take these. And if you notice, when they swap characters, it's usually a very popular Caucasian character. It's never the other way around. Can you
Mm-hmm.
imagine what I think about? Um, can you imagine what would happen if they had swapped Blade or T'Challa or Eddie Murphy in Coming to America or Martin Lawrence and Will Smith in Bad Boys?
Right.
Imagine if they swap those characters. And I love those characters as well. But can you imagine how it would be just World War III if that should happen? So if it can't be the if you can't do it, it would be. My God, it would be. So if you can't do it the other way around, and that's why I think the swapping should not happen. Period. It's something that shouldn't be done. Period, because it's not democratic at all, and it's not needed. It's absolutely not needed. That is not coming from the fans. That's coming from Hollywood. And I guarantee you it's going to catch up with them because at some point fans are going to get tired of this. And they're not going to watch these properties. They're not going to pay to see these films. They're not going to watch these movies on streaming because they're going to get tired of this because they expect us to go back and go, oh, okay, well, okay, if that's what they want to do. But I don't roll that way. Roll that way. If they race swap something that I like, I'm not giving it my money in any shape or form, whether it's in a theater, streaming, merchandise, it's not going to get my money. And also, I want to make clear that just because you have a black character in a show doesn't mean I'm going to instantly fall in love with that character. I've got to get to know that character just like I get to know everybody else. That's another pandering issue that they're having. Now, I will admit, right now, for WandaVision, they interviews Monica Rambeau. I don't know that much about Monica Rambeau. I'm going to be honest. I was never a Monica Rambeau fan. She's new to me. In the comics, I was more into like Storm and other characters that they use. But Monica Rambeau, I'm like, I don't know who that is. But everybody tells me she's the real Captain Marvel. She's the real Captain Marvel. I said, oh, I didn't know there were two. I just thought, I just thought there were one. I didn't know there were two. But everybody tells me she's the real one. And I said, well, some people have already instantly think that she's the greatest thing since the wireless bra. But I said to them, well, I've got to get to know her. I'm not going to instantly jump for her just because that she's there. And I think a lot of people either are not thinking that way, or, and the professor talked about this many times in his videos. I'm quoting him. I don't know if he's there on the screen, but if you speak with him, tell him I'm quoting him. There is this notion that they have to they have to have something. They can't let it go. They can't reject it. It's pop culture. It's Marvel. It's Star Wars. I have no. You don't. No, you don't. You get to move on. So I just think a lot of this pandering is backfiring. It's useless, and I think it's doing more damage than good. And I think it's more insulting. And I think a lot of people of color, whatever ethnic, whether you're Asian, Mexican, Spanish, are not catching it. You mentioned Mexican. Can you imagine how they would feel if they did a new Zorro movie, but Zorro will not be played by Spanish
Hispanic.
person or Mexican person? Hispanic. Thank you. It would be World War III. It would be World War
Mm-hmm.
III. They would be storming the gates all over the world. So, and I can understand that anger because he is an Hispanic hero. So why in the world would you do that to a character that's Caucasian? Why would you do that to a Steve Rogers? Why would you do that to to that woman or whatever? Or why would you do that? All of that is not necessary to do. So I myself am not on board with pandering, and some people look at me like I'm nuts. I mean, I've been called a lot of things. They say, "Oh, I've been called a sellout because I'm
Mm-hmm.
not doing it," but that's what everybody
I received
is
the
calling
I
me. But
received the
I'm
same
trying to.
treatment. I received the same treatment last
Yeah, then
year
you know how.
because I spoke on Twitter saying that when they announced Lovecraft Country, and I said I'd rather be reading H.P. Lovecraft's books than this crap. And somebody said, "What's it like to sell your own people? Like, how's that selling out to my own people? If you want to watch it, you go ahead by all means. You know what I'm saying? But don't call me a sellout
Exactly.
because I rather read the literature that came from the original writer. Yes, I get it. He has had he's has quite the track record for history. Like I actually loudly defended H.P. Lovecraft. Like say what you will about the man of his sayings, his belief system, but let me ask you this, guys: did he ever go out to picket somebody? Did he actually lynch any black people? Did he outright commit heinous crimes to Jews? If he didn't do any of those things, he only had racial viewpoints that we didn't agree upon. That doesn't make him automatically the bad guy. Just had terrible thoughts about people, and he was a man. He was a man of mental degradations. He. I'm saying like actions speak louder than words. For somebody to say something bad about somebody, yes, you can fault them for it, but that I'm not saying outright label them that way for having those views. You have to be the better person to show them a better point of view, an alternate point of view, and let them cross over into that world so that they can see that sometimes what they're saying and what they're doing is wrong. If they outright murder somebody on racial viewpoints that are negative, yes, you can label them that. If they beat on somebody because of xenophobia and of course racism, yes, you can label them that. But if they just saying it, that that still leaves an open doorway for you to actually pull them aside and say, "Hey, come on, dude, we're no longer in a time. You can coexist with me. You can coexist with me, and let go of your hatred for me, because I don't have no hatred towards you whatsoever. So you can call me whatever you want, but at the end of the day, you're hurting yourself more so than you're hurting me. That's why I like to tell people mostly. That's why I love to tell these type of people. You're hurting yourselves more so than you're hurting me. You know, but but yeah, I got that. In short, I got that treatment when I loudly proclaim, like, I'd rather read his books than watch this polished turd of a show that's only there for us for black people to clamor on to watch. And the media headlines, oh my goodness, taking back the power of right, or redefining the, like, what is
Exactly.
it doing? It's supposed to it's supposed to entertain me, not educate me. It's supposed to be about eldritch abominations in the H.P. Lovecraft's like storytelling. It's not telling me anything, and I'm cool with the idea of black characters being in the world of H.P. Lovecraft. So let me ask you guys this: you want to tell this story with characters who happen to be black? Why is it set in a time where racism was an all time high? Why is it that we're only good for that kind of storytelling? Why is it that's your go to option to be able to tell a black story? You can tell a black story without the 1960s. Trust me. We had, like you said, like Leiaplussize said here, Blade. Let's also bring up Icon, Meteor Man, Steel. None of these men took place in the 1960s. They were well rounded. In the case of John Henry Irons, he was a construction worker. No, he was a weapons manufacturer before in the military. Meteor Man was an all around. I think he's supposed to be a teacher, right? At a high school,
I think
if
he
I
was.
recall.
Yeah, he was a teacher. Yeah, I recall too. He was a
He
teacher.
was yeah, he's a teacher that teaches at a high school. Blade, of course, he was a homeless person. He started from nothing, but became the world's protector against vampires and in the case of the comics, possible supernatural events or demons and what have you. You know, so you can tell a story about a black character that doesn't have to take place during 1960s or in a time where racism was an all time high. Nor do you need to tell. Nor does the character's characterization is all about combating racism that don't exist at all that much in our current century. But apparently they're trying to reinvent the wheel on the history here with these characters. You watch any other programs that are across the seas and stuff. They don't talk about that stuff. You watch an Oriental it, watch any Chinese wuxia film. They don't talk about you know there's some connotations there here and there, and there's some political storytelling too, but it's totally different than how we do it here. Far different than how we do it here. They don't even pander that much, and sometimes when they do bring in characters outside their country, the characters are let's just say they're not always well rounded that much, but they do make room for the ones that are the different, the change that comes within. Like I like to bring up Ip Man for one, Ip Man 2 specifically. They really characterize the British as to be these stuck up head in the clouds type people, but over time they start to you know come over to the ideas of China, and to some extent that is truth in history. The British did see themselves to be that way sometimes, or at least that's how the Chinese viewed the British as they occupied China. If anybody can correct me in the history there down at the bottom in the comments, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be pulling those up pretty soon because we're getting close to the 50 mark, and we'll start to read comments. Okay, Leia.
That's fine with me. That's perfect
Yeah.
with me.
So I'll continue my tangent here.
Oh, please go on. Don't let me. I want
Rest
to
of,
hog the conversation. Your name, so please
the same thing goes for
continue.
the Japanese. Yeah, the same thing goes for the Japanese for the first movie. The way how they characterized the Japanese when they occupied China, at least the province that Ip Man was raised in. They in some aspects they present the Japanese as these dictatorship, which they kind of were. But the main villain of Ip Man 1 had a sense of honor to him, even though they kind of botched that. That was my only criticism of Ip Man 1 was that they kind of botched they kind of botched them at the end. They made a full on villain at the end, whereas in the beginning, or at least in the middle of the movie, where there's a scene where a character was supposed to take his food despite him losing, because either way you're still going to get your rations. They ration the food to Chinese. They had these underground fights to for the Japanese to prove their might in their soldiers, right? So he still so either way you win, whether you win or lose, you're still taking your food because you're participating. Participation awards in the worst kind of way. So they end up he's gonna go and get his food, and one of the Japanese shoots him in the head, and the general berates him for it. He berates him like hey, why'd you shoot that man? He is supposed to take that food. You know what I'm saying? And he even said like, what do you think the Chinese is gonna think of us? And that's when Ip Man has that epic beat down of the karate fighters, which I'm pretty sure you might have seen Ip Man. If you haven't, go ahead check that one out. Donnie is great in that movie, Leiaplussize. But like I said,
What's the name of the movie
Ip
again?
Man, IP Man. It's
Oh, you mean Love? Okay. Oh, okay.
it's a story of Bruce Lee's master.
Oh,
He's the master of Bruce Lee.
oh, okay.
That's where Bruce Lee learned his.
Okay, I'm familiar with it. Okay.
Yeah, definitely check out the Ip Man series.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I would. Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I would definitely check that out. I'm not familiar with it, but I am familiar with Bruce Lee's Master, but I don't
Yeah.
know the whole story. That's something I will definitely out. So thank you for that recommendation. I was going to
So
agree with you. Uh,
go ahead.
Go on.
Oh, I would also like
I
to
was
bring up.
going.
We're crisscrossing each other. I'll start. I'll start. I was also going to bring up Fearless with Jet Li when he had to fight with before he had to fight with the Japanese fire at the end. They had a meeting together, a meeting of tea, and they talked to each other about philosophies and fighting and martial arts. And at the end of the movie, spoilers by the way for those who haven't seen Fearless, they had that fight, but the handler who's speaking for the Japanese fire ends up poisoning Ho Yun Jai is the main character, a real life figure if you will. And in the fight, he's poisoned, and the Japanese said, "Hey, we can continue our fight next time. We need to get you to a hospital. You're gonna die if you. I'm not gonna hold back if you continue this fight." He said, Ho Yun Jai. He says, "No, we're gonna continue this fight. It's fine. Come at me." So they fight, and of course it ends with Ho Yun Jai actually bypassing his defenses and his fist was almost there to hit him, but it doesn't impact. It's like that anime scene where two people lock into each other and one of them dies, right? But they were going to declare the
Right.
Japanese man the winner, right? But he picks up Hoyujai and shouts his name because he believes that Hoyujai won that fight because he bypassed his defenses. Now that's one way of how certain movies or certain countries characterize those who are not of their country. I'm giving you two aspects. There is what I'm saying. If for those of you who are listening, I'm giving you two aspects. Like the Chinese, for all what we learn for them in real life now, I mean, at least their cinema is still maintaining that respectfulness to other countries in in more ways than one than how we're doing it now here. Or I implore anybody to different other look at other cinema outside of America and see how they characterize other groups that are not in their country. Because I've toured through multiple versions of cinema from different countries, and I'll tell you, it's a different perspective of how characterization goes. You were gonna say something,
I
Leia?
Oh, I was just going to say I agree. This issue seems to be something that's in the U.S., but it's not outside of the U.S. It seems to be something here. This issue seems to be here in this country about others and mostly how we see each other. But when you get to cinema outside of the United States, it's just exactly as you explained, and how they perceived outsiders is very different than what's being communicated now. I totally 100% agree with that. I can't think of some off the top of my head, but I do understand where you're coming from because I noticed that myself, that the perception is way different than what's going on here. Where this seems to be an issue with us, and since we claim to be more culturally advanced in some countries, it's funny how this seems to be the handicap of us. We could learn from those. We could actually learn from those other countries with the issue that you just explained. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
repeat what you just said, but we should learn from that. Um, I was a theater major. I studied drama when I was in
Mm.
college, and the interesting thing that I always loved, I always tell people, is that I was always interested in other cultures and other places. That's the beauty of it. And learning about different styles of storytelling around the world. And I said, there's just so much that we're missing and that we don't have and that we're not doing because other parts of the country are telling these stories so well. And when I was interviewed in drama, I just thought about this. I would always tell them I was heavily influenced by the British, by the English books, movies, television. People ask me, why are you so influenced by the British? I said, because the British are very good storytellers. No matter what they do, they tell good stories. They are not afraid to tell good stories. They think outside the box, whether it's from drama, fantasy, historic. They are very good storytellers. And I was reading Troy's comment.
I was about
Sorry
to
about
read it
that.
myself, but keep going, keep going,
Okay,
because
they're very good storytellers. So when I was studying drama, I was studying a lot of my own culture storytellers, and then I also wanted to learn everybody else. And I remember telling the department why I was so interested in other cultures because, man, that's just more interesting. It's just more interesting to read about other cultures, and you find you have a lot in common. And I always would say about the British because I would say they're very good storytellers. They tell good stories, where they seem to be more comfortable with the fantasy genre than here in the United States. They seem to be more comfortable with that from what I've read. In other words, they are willing to think outside, particularly fantasy and horror. They're willing to think outside the box, and no matter what they're doing, it's telling a story. Whereas here in the United States, um, it's sort of seen like not necessary on the back burner, not important. But I think that's what's missing from us is blocking out instead of trying to reproduce them or recreate them, we block it. We try to block it out, and that shouldn't be. Like you just said, there's so much that we're missing. There's so many issues, and like I said, no matter the story that they're telling, they always tell a good story. It's just like with Bridgerton. I told him, well, if you're interested in people of color during that time period, why don't you do the story of Alexander Dumas? That is the man
Mm-hmm.
that wrote The Three Musketeers and The Count of Monte Cristo. That man is a man of color. And I said, how come
Mm-hmm.
nobody's telling this guy's story? Nobody's telling this. It's right in front of them. It's right there in front of them. You can tell this guy's story. It's a wonderful story of his life. And and I think he wrote The Man in the Iron Mask. I'm not sure, but I think he wrote that too. So why are they not? It's right there in front of them. There it is. There you go. Why aren't you telling that? But they don't want to do that. The Hollywood seems to just turn their back. I guess it's too hard. Maybe it's too hard to sit down and read a book and look up history and develop it into a screenplay. I forgot about that. Maybe that's so difficult to do. So
Troy has thrown a a compliment your way. He says Leiaplussize is the draw because she's better looking than Wolf Ted. I'll, I'll let you have that one. I,
I said, Troy, Bina. Well, I thank you.
you
That's a
made
nice
some good. You made some
compliment.
very good points there, Leiaplussize. I definitely am enjoying what you're saying right now. I'm going to go through the comments real quick so that we can
Please
bounce off
do.
of the
Go right
comments.
ahead. I'm a
And
sure. Go right ahead.
Leia Mapache says, "Sweetie, we adore you. That's so sweet."
Thank you. Thank you, Netta. I adore you too. Thank you. You're very kind.
He says, "I'm working so diet cherry cook undoctored." Troy says that.
Oh, Troy. Well, I hope it doesn't do any damage. I hope you be okay.
Silent Graver says, "Oh wait, she's addressing Netter." I'm now screwing up with the comments here. Oh, okay. This is what I was looking for, actually. She says, "Hey, Leiaplussize, good to hear your voice."
Thank you, Sound Engraver. Thank you for coming and spending the time, taking time out your day to listen.
She's a woman of her integrity. I will definitely congratulate her on that one. She's a woman of integrity. So that's what thing I love. And she's a woman of her word that when she tells me that she'll watch it in the backwatch, and she does make a point that to bring it up. Like she has watched my stuff in the backwatch, and I again, Sounding River, like I said, you're a busy woman. You are not obligated to always tune in. Like when you when you find a chance to do so, do it on your own accord. And I issue this out to everyone. You are not obligated to join it and stay. But you know what? It's welcoming when you do. It's very welcoming when you do watch my back watches, and I appreciate you guys wholeheartedly for that. Especially you guys who are the big greats, as I like to call you. But let me stop dawdling and read Brian's comment here. He says, Lady of Valor definitely has a good ring to it. You do have a lot of valor in you, Leia Plus. That's a lot of valor. You stood by, especially when you mentioned how your friends are trying to. It's from what you said about your the people who follow you or those who are in your circle. They're trying to shame you into being not woke enough, or at least not black enough. It's like that kind of deal that blacks used to always do from time to time, and I'm seeing a repeat of that almost daily. Land plus size.
Exactly. That is increase. I'm seeing an increase in this, not only among fans, but again in Hollywood and Twitter. Oh, good Lord! What they do to an actor or an actress of black if they don't back up a certain point or they disagree with something, they just eat them alive. And I'm seeing that increasing. And it's a form of shaming. It is. It's a form of shaming. And like I said, I have faced that. See, the thing is, and I didn't mean to interrupt you. I know you want to go back to the chats. The thing is, and Professor Geek has brought this up many times in his streams. that there is this notion, um, that if you don't, there's this level of this level of wokeness that they have, that if you do not support a certain character or you don't back up a certain character, then oh, I thought
All
something.
right.
Oh,
No,
sound
no,
like
no,
they
no.
threw me off.
That,
Oh,
I know. No, no, no. I'm highlighting that just to continue what you're saying about. I was going to bring this up so next time when we have this
oh, okay.
next time we meet, you can use this as advice for your device. She
Oh, okay.
well,
Thank you, sound.
yeah, she's saying if it's an external microphone, you might have to use the device's microphone, but it sounds good now. That was earlier. That was earlier. By the
Oh,
way,
okay. All right. I'll get back to what I was
we have
saying.
to.
I'll get back.
There's a lot. I'm just letting you know. There's a lot of comments, and I don't know how much time you have left, but we're gonna try to get through some of them. And you if you're ready to dip out, you go ahead and dip out. I'll shoulder the burden, shoulder the load for the rest of the stream. But yeah, that I was just highlighting that so let you know for next time when we do this again, you can check your microphone, and we can hold a test stream for that as well. Since we now know that you can definitely get in here with your device now. But yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off. Continue.
Okay. Oh, thank you. It's not a problem. That's good. Those are good little tips to know. No, okay. Back to what I was saying about this level of wokeness. There's this
She
level. Oh,
also
there's
gives
this
you some
level of wokeness.
encouragement there.
Oh, okay.
She
Thank you, sound engraver. Thank you for that. There's this level of wokeness that if you don't support it, that you are with that. Yeah, I know what I'm saying. The professor talked about this many times in his streams, that not being able to let go or to reject something, for instance, or saying that you have to accept it, or you have to accept the pandering, you have to accept the wave swap. If you do not do that, then you're either a sellout, a racist, or a phobe, or anything they want to say, and that is an absolute lie. That's it's like they're trying to trick themselves into liking something when they really don't, and that's the problem. Like, they don't want to let go of it, but they have to have it. It's like, okay, they've wave swapped this character, so I guess I have to accept it. That is not me. No, that is not me. And I don't want to keep bringing it up, but trust me, there are no, yeah, falcons in my house. Okay, there are no objects or merchandise in my house. It's I'm there aren't going to be. So some people say I'm a sellout for doing that, or they call me for doing that, but I don't care, because I can let go of something if I feel it's poison. It's just like if you have spoiled food. Would you eat mold on cheese? So that's how I see woke. If you opened your refrigerator and saw your cheese covered with mold, would you just say, "Well, it's cheese. I'm going to eat it"? No, you're going to throw that out. So
Mm-hmm.
that is how I see wokeness right now, and this pandering. It's like a mold on good food that is eating it up, and they want us to eat it with the mold still on it, and they're trying to trick us into thinking the mold's not nothing. It won't hurt you. It won't make you sick. When it does. So I don't mean to rattle, but that's how I kind of see, back to your point, to what you were making,
We're bringing
and
up
that's what I
another
see.
comment.
Sure, go right ahead.
Yeah, I heard what you're saying about that. Like yeah, the analogy is spot on. The moldy cheese analogy. I like how you bring up moldy cheese, and I'm like, yeah, that's how I'm. Before I read Matthew Flynn's comment real quick, I gotta point that out. Like that's how I seen it now. It's rotten. I like to bring up a
Mhm.
I like to bring up a musical lyric from Jesus Christ Superstar. Uh, and I love Judas in here. Judas is played by a black man, mind you, and Jesus Christ Superstar is a musical, right? Um, the song is
Uh,
called "Heaven on Our Minds." Have you seen Jesus Christ Superstar?
yeah, we did it in college. I'm
Oh,
very familiar with that musical. Yes. Well, we did
so
that in
you
college.
know "Heaven
And
on Your Minds," but there's a line he
yes.
says towards the end of that song. It was beautiful, but now it's sour. Now it's yes, it's all gone sour. And
Yes,
I was
right.
pinpoint on that. It's like that you can take what he's saying through this whole song. I'm pointing out that one lyric, right? But the entirety of the song really, what my takeaway from that song is that when you get together a group and it gets so big, it starts to rot from the inside, you know. And I like you. I like that you made that moldy cheese analogy, I'm actually adding on to that with the whole it was beautiful, but now it's sour. You know, and
Exactly. Hmm.
that's how I see the whole Sam Wilson being Captain America, the whole this whole push for Nubia, the new Wonder Woman that's Brazilian, I think, I believe.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That is just ridiculous. I know about that. That's ridiculous. That's that. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm just saying how
I
ridiculous
don't
that is.
begrudge
That is ridiculous.
I don't begrudge anybody who do artwork of her. I mean, if you like her design, I mean, I like her design all the same, but like I don't know where they're going with her. I don't know what they're trying to push with her at all. I don't know much about Nubia, but
There's nothing wrong
but
with her design, but she needs to be her own character, not the ethnic
yeah,
Wonder Woman. Design is
yeah,
not the problem. The problem is the character. Why not create her to be somebody else? Why does she have to be the ethnic Wonder Woman? We don't need it. There's only one Wonder Woman, that's Diana Prince. So why
yeah,
in the world would you do that? The design is, I don't have a design. I don't have a problem with her design. No problem with that. But it's the fact that she's not her own character.
hmm she has a moniker that's only attracting attention. That's it. That like she's not
Mhm.
having she's not having a mantle of her own. They're putting a shadow to her over it. That's all it is. It's casting a shadow over her if you put the moniker Wonder Woman on her. But let me read Matthew Flynn's comment right here. It's a good comment. He says, "We never decided a nickname for me. I'll go by the Gladiator of Kaon or Kaon. I think that's a Transformers reference. He can tell me in the comments." Brian Gilmore says, and this is very juicy. Let me read this real quick. He says, "Pandering is disingenuous at best. Like Wolf said, you're basically throwing certain groups a bone as if it's not worth giving them a whole steak." Right on, brother.
Good
Right
one.
on.
Yeah, good
Troy,
one. Agree with that.
Troy, give some more encouragement to you. He says it's perfectly okay. We've been noobs at one time or another. Yeah, I remember my first test. Our first we watch. No, no. I think it was our first stream. Me and Owen, and the moment we were about to. No, yeah, it was our first we watch, and we were about to stream Guyver, right? WCR, and I got kicked out. Me,
Oh,
me, the Wolf Commander.
oh.
Before I even took the marker of Wolf Commander, you know what I'm saying? Before I was the Wolf, but like me taking the marker, we were about to begin, and I get kicked out. Like what? And I have to restart and get back in there. But props to Owen Lister for handling himself by himself in that stream. Check out that stream, by the way. That was hilarious.
Okay, now that you tell me, I've got to.
That was it was
I
it's the
will.
Wolf and the
Not
Guyver's
you.
first we watch. You know what I'm saying? It's called the Wolf and the Guyver's first we watch. That's where I got kicked out like midway into it. He's like, what happened? I guess the Wolf Tan's gone, and he started humming the Addams Family theme song. I mean, he shared some information about the Guyver and everything, but he that was funny. That was fun. Uh,
The wolf.
Melissa Harris,
The wolf. And
go ahead.
thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Melissa Harris. Thank you so much. That's so true. Amen.
Yeah, you were
You
gonna
should
say
always be
something about the
Captain
Wolf.
America. Yes. I'm sorry. I was saying what was it? The Wolf Commander and the Diver. Sounds like you guys should have your own streaming show on Disney Plus.
I know, huh?
I like
Our little
that.
talk show.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's the UN
You would.
Spacey Wolf Squadron.
Yeah. It sounds like you guys should have your own show. Or you draw Wolf. Maybe you can draw you and Guyver as superheroes yourself, and you're the Wolf Commander and he's the Guyver. Hey, there
Believe
you
you and
go.
me, that is still happening. Everybody who's part of the UN Spacey, you guys are going to get your own avatars. Trust me. I've already you already seen my Wolf Commander design already.
Yes.
So you know what the Wolf Commander looks like, but yours is coming up. Owens is still in the works. Brian Martin is definitely in the works, and so is Schooner Tuna. Definitely Schooner Tuna, but Schooner Tuna, I don't know yet. I'm churning up ideas. I know I got an idea for
Does he live?
Brian Gil Martin though.
I can't
I
wait to
got an
see
idea,
what your design is going to be. I know I'll love it.
yeah, definitely you, definitely you. We talked about this. We talked about this. You know, on Messenger. You don't have to bring it up. We could discuss this another time. If you don't
Sure, no
if you don't
problem.
if you don't feel comfortable you know, if you don't feel comfortable like describing what would you like to be look like, you know, on stream. I mean, there we go. Brian Martin.
Okay.
I was gonna talk about Brian Martin's here. He says, "Not gonna lie, I hate it when the new Voltron race swap Princess Allure. The dark skin, silver hair design should really be a whole new character who could play off Allure." I'm gonna. I don't. I'm a little conflicted because, on one hand, I agree. On the other hand, I kind of disagree. I didn't mind that because what they did with her was that they made her an alien in that one. Her having dark skin had no basis on her race. She would now. I will say this. Here's where I would have had a problem with it: if she was actually a human and she was black, and Laura's supposed to be white. You know what I'm saying? But she was Altean in Voltron Legendary Defender. That's why I didn't have no problem with it. My main issue stems from how people are now trying to gather around new Allura as if she's the only Allura out there and she's black. No, she's not black. She's an alien. She just happened to have black skin. She happens to have dark skin. Other races like her have different shades of skin. Even Koran is also alien in that show, and he's technically, if you take the alien out of him, he would have been white or at least white British. You know, there's other Altaians like her out there that are different shades of skin color, and I like that. That's why I say I like that choice to make her an alien because her race is alien specific. It's Altaian. Her skin color was not the basis of her race because there were different versions, there are different skin tones of Altaians like her. What made them Altaian was these two little markings underneath their eyes on their cheekbones. That's what that was another uh alien specific identification thing going on with them. Same thing with their pointy ears; they look like L's. And here's another kicker: Altaeans vary in size. She's the tallest character in the Voltron team. She's taller than Keith. She's taller than Lance. She's taller than even Shiro, not Sven, the pilot of the Black Lion, or the pilot of the Blue Lion in the original series before it handed off to Keith to be in the Black Lion, so or at least it handed off to Allura when Sven dies. Spoilers to those who haven't seen Voltron, but like I said, like she that's what made her stood out design wise, not character wise. Design wise, it made her stood out. She was taller than the human boys. She was Altaian. She, like I said, her skin color did not make her black. She was just darker skin. You know, silver hair. Another thing that was also part of her Altaian makeup, her genetics. But that's why I said that's why I said on one hand I do agree where Brian Gilmore is coming from, but I also have to disagree because from where I saw it, it's like, well, you can't really call her an African American. You can't call her an African, African born from Africa, right? Because she's Altaian. She's an alien. That's like calling Liara from Mass Effect, who's an Asari, white because she looks like a white woman. She's not a white woman. She's an alien. You know. So there's my 2 cents there, Brian Gamar. You can agree to disagree, but on one hand, I do agree where you're coming from there. From where you're standing, from what you're saying, Brian, I agree where you're coming from there. But I also, it's agreed to disagree to some extent on that front because, like I said, I know where you come from there, but at the same time, I also have to disagree because, like I said, I watched the show from beginning to end twice already. By the way, I had to rewatch it just to see if I missed anything or if my initial viewings is is misplaced. You know. Now I will bring up Dragon Prince. Now if you made a case with Dragon Prince, yes, there. I can say I can have an issue with that with the whole the I wouldn't say they're race swapped, but I do kind of like head tilt the idea that there's a black king in a fantasy world. But I'm like, it's a fantasy. I can see that working. You know what I'm saying? Leiaplussize. Check out Dragon Prince
Yes.
if you're not in the know.
Fantasy.
Yeah, check out Dragon Prince.
Wouldn't bother me.
Now, my only issue with Dragon Prince is that there's a princess, or I think there's a princess that's like a princess regent that mentions that she has same sex parents, and I'm like, how they get you? Whoa! Hey, no! Don't move on to the next scene. Pull the brakes on the train. If you got two mamas, how did you come into existence? I'm sorry. No. Explain that. Don't just hand wave it. Explain that. And I was cool with the whole there being homosexual elves in there too, because there's an elf warrior who has an elf lover that's also the same sex. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. There's a healthy relationship going on there too, as I felt to mention in the whole toxic relationship stream that we had last time. Like there's some good lesbian and gay healthy relationships in stories too, but I forgot to mention them. But that was one that I wanted to mention. But I'm like, okay, you got two mamas. How they get you in a fantasy setting? How they? I'm asking the question here. Don't tell me it's magic. You can't get no baby from magic. You gonna mess up there. You gonna mess up there if you use magic to get a baby. I've seen Full Metal Alchemist. Dang it, I've seen Full Metal Alchemist. I know what happens when you try to get a baby through magic. that's one of my famous impromptu rants there. Let's get to Troy Pacelli's comment to you. He says it's perfectly okay. Oh wait, I've already read that. I'm slacking right now.
Can I just make
this is the comment.
Comment back to Melissa's comment.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. You first. I'm gonna keep it because I'm gonna read. But I want you.
Say,
go ahead.
I think it was Melissa. Melissa, if you're still there, yes, thank you. Steve Rogers is Captain America and should be the only one. So thank you. I'm glad I'm not alone.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go on. Go on. I 100% agree with that. And I just think that it's ridiculous that Steve Rogers is.
Uh-oh, we lost her again. Oh no. She'll be back, guys. I'm pretty sure she'll be back. Troy Pacelli says, if you're an intersectional female hero, you don't need training. You were born perfect yesterday. Yeah, right. Ashley Lou on that one. I'm sure she'll be back, guys. I'm gonna soldier through until she do. Samuel Proctor brings up a good point. He says Marvel Studios has caught with Marvel Comics and their SJWs. Yeah, that's bruh. Speaking of Marvel MCU, the MCU, I was hoping that they were not gonna push for the SJW in this thing. I really was hoping that they were gonna continue keeping the classic Marvel Universe thing going on with their movies until Captain Marvel happened, and I'm like, there's no hope for media now. I might as well just stick to drawing from now on. Not watch. Like if this is a self-help care program that they're pushing, you're doing a good job because I'm turning off the TV and opening the books and opening up my sketchbook at this point because you're not leaving me anything to look at without feeling disgusted and feeling uneasy. I'm sure she'll be back, hopefully. Schooner Tuna says, I always race gender swapped characters reveal just how intellectually slash creatively dead these producers are. Just swap out one of our established characters to change their orientation slash color. Laugh out loud. Yeah, that is laughable. Brian Martin says to Schooner Tuna, indeed, it's always easier to piggyback off what success than make new. I call them cultural scavengers. I call them work scavengers too, or opportunistic scavengers. That's a new nickname for them. Opportunistic work scavengers. Uh, Melissa Harris says we have had black heroes for 80 years in comics. That is true. That is so true. There's been, and not just comics. They've been Action Jackson. Anybody? Dolomite. Superfly. Come on now, Foxy Brown, and she's back. Everybody, let me get her in soon. And we lost you there, Leiaplussize. I was talking about how we are how they're vulturing, they're scavengers off of success scavengers. Let me rephrase the can you talk Leiaplussize just to check.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Okay,
you.
sorry about that. My internet. Okay, sorry about the kerfuffle, everybody. Sorry about that.
Don't be ashamed. Don't
Please.
be ashamed. We you're not the only one who's having internet. I had internet. I'll tell you what. I've been having internet connections here and there on my end too. Like when I try to play Overwatch, I've been having lags. I'm like, do I need to call my company to ask them what the dealio? Like even I'm pretty sure Owls have had connections too, had connection issues too recently. Yes, even Professor Geek, Silent Graver. Remember Silent Graver on Monday? She had
Yes.
well I don't know if that was trouble on her end or at least I don't know. That's a whole different story. But yeah, don't feel bad. In short, don't feel bad. But I
Okay.
was
Thank you.
just to catch you up. I was Brian Gilmore was talking about no Schooner Tune was bringing up how they they're basically leeching and mooching off of I'm sorry, Bryant and Schooner was talking about how they were leeching off of successful IPs and successful stuff just to make themselves relevant and all that stuff. And I call them success scavengers now. I was calling them cultural scavengers, but no, they're success scavengers. Um, I'm still reading the comments real quick.
Leeches.
There you go. Leeches,
Please
moochers.
do. Go ahead. Yes. Yeah, go ahead and exactly. That's a good way of putting it. But please continue reading the comments. Go right ahead. Because we're like at the 5 o'clock mark. So I'm not leaving yet, but you go ahead and get some of those comments because everybody's making some good comments.
Yeah, man, I'm sinking my teeth into these. These are some juicy comments. Melissa Harris, in her very colorful way, says this forced woke pandering is pointless, and it's just stroking their egos. Yeah, it's ego driven. It's all ego driven. That it always go back to that ego thing. Uh, Brian Gilmore has this one. He says, "Video games need more woman." Tara freaking Bradford. There you go. Boom, Brian. Let me repeat that. Tara freaking Bradford. If you don't know who that is, Leiaplussize, that is one of the main characters from Final Fantasy, specifically Final Fantasy 6, I believe, for the Super Nintendo. If you ever played any of the Final Fantasy games, but she's one of the man. She has a rich backstory. Um, I will I will suggest you this if you're not going to get into the whole Final Fantasy thing, but you want to know what the characters are like. Check out the YouTube Final Fantasy Union. Let me repeat that. Final Fantasy Union. They got videos on almost every character, including the villains, of their backstories condensed and well edited and well spoken videos. So if you want to know who Tara Bradford is, they got a video on her definitely. Can you hear me, Leiaplussize?
Yes, yes, I was just letting you finish, and I was gonna say, I will check it out. I have to admit, I don't play games that much because of
Mm-hmm.
my schedule,
Mm-hmm.
but I will definitely make note of that now that I have some extra time, and I will definitely make note of that and see into it. So thank you for the suggestion, because I'm not familiar with it. I'm very sorry, but thank you for the suggestion.
Leiaplussize, I don't know how much time you have right now, but can you entertain our guests real quick? Cause I have to help my wife with something real fast.
Oh,
So,
okay. I'll do the best thing I can. I'll do what I can. No problem.
all right, and I'll mute
Okay.
my mic for good measure. So,
Oh, okay. Okay. Everybody that can hear me, it's just me now. Okay, I will try to be as entertaining as I can. Let's see, where would I want to start at? Um, well, I'm going to go back to Melissa's comment. As you all probably know, I am a big fan of the Captain America movies and the Captain America in the MCU. And I was just saying how I absolutely, of course, do not like the fact that Sam Wilson is the new Cap. I think that I don't like that at all. It doesn't mean I don't like the character. It seems like I always have to apologize for saying that, but I don't. But I liked Steve Rogers. I loved the way Chris Evans played Steve Rogers. I know some people don't like his politics, but I love his performance as Rogers. And if you can see my house, I was all up in it. I have so much Steve Rogers memorabilia and so much Steve Rogers merchandise. I was crazy about those films. So, what really got me into this topic is what they're doing to a lot of my favorite characters, or feeling that taking out my favorite characters and making them a person of color will make me feel better about myself. If anything, it made me so angry. It makes me angry and frustrated and just boiling mad when they do something like that, because I cannot tell you in Game, which is a film I didn't like, how it just made my blood vessels explode when they made Rogers turn his shield over to Wilson. And I'm like, no, that is not right. That no, 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 no. And that just made me just took all my passion out of the MCU, which is why I'm going back to saying that I think pandering this pandering thing is like mold. It's like rotted food in your refrigerator. You open up your refrigerator and you want a good meal and you see that the food is rotted and it's moldy. Well, you can't eat it. You're not going to eat it. You're going to toss it away. So that is why I've started off with this topic, because I think that this has just become this sort of mold in Hollywood with all these properties taking beloved characters, particularly ones that are Caucasian and male, and swapping them, thinking that's going to make a person think a certain way, or it's going to make a person feel better about themselves. I really think the people that's doing this swapping and doing this pandering, these people, they don't like themselves. They're unhappy with their own life. So they want to put it on fictional characters. And they feel if the fictional characters look like them and walk like them, that it will just be grand peace on earth and pure paradise, and puppies and kittens will live together. And that's just not how it works. It just doesn't. So I just don't know where this is coming from, but it's frustrating me. I'm not in agreement with it. And I think a lot of people are not in agreement with it. I think people are tired of when they announce, it used to be a time when they announced a movie or a TV show, an adaptation of a novel or a book, you get excited about it. Now, when they make those announcements, I just want to roll my eyes and say, oh, forget it. Just forget it. I don't even look forward to it. And as some of you have said in the comments, there's just absolutely no reason for this. There's no reason for that whatsoever. If you want to do stories about people of different cultures, there's beautiful folklore. There's Asian folklore, there's Indian folklore, there's Hispanic folklore, Asian folklore, there's folklore for African Americans. There's so many beautiful folklore stories that can be told. And for some strange reason, they're not telling them. And I'm wondering, well, why aren't they telling these stories? And I think it's perhaps maybe, reading and script from scratch is too hard these days. So maybe that's difficult. So maybe that's not they want to do it. So that's why I bring it up.
and I'm
You
back.
back?
I'm
Okay,
back.
good. I hope everybody was. I was just basically. I was just basically telling them how all of the pandering and the swapping makes me feel. And then I told them basically how in the MCU, I was a big Steve Rogers fan. The Cap movies are my favorite of the MCU movies. And I just adored the character, and I liked what Evans did. I liked what Chris Evans did. I'm not going to take it away from him. And then I go see Endgame, and I found out that they
Hmm.
that they're taking this character out. Now, if Evans wants to leave, fine, but you don't kill the character of Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers still needs to be there, and how they're opening up these MC. I'm not going to stand that long, Wolf, because I am going to. I'm going to make a suggestion to you that not right now, but I'm going to go into how I feel about the MCU going forward. It's a whole
Right.
other different
We can,
discussion because there's a
you
lot
know,
of,
something else.
yeah,
We can also make a stream about that as well in the future. Because
yes,
me and, like I
yes,
said in the last stream, me and Square will be definitely tackling the X-Men movie franchise. So if you want to talk about anything about the MCU, or at least, or you want to have a little fun at how you would improve the MCU, you know where to contact me. You know where to contact me.
right. You got it. Yeah, that X-Men one
So
sounds
you
good.
so are you ready to dip out now?
No, I can stay for about 30 more minutes, and then about
All right.
5:30 I'll have to dip out. So if you want to read
Okay.
some comments, you can go right ahead. I'm
I
fine with
definitely want to
that.
read this one from Sam Proctor. And he
Yes, please do.
says, "There's centuries of interesting African history in Africa that's right for them to adapt, but they only choose the European historical settings and race war." There's a reason for that. They hate European history. They are jealous of European history. They're jealous of the white man. They're envious of the white man, but they're not privy to the idea of competing with the white man. They're not even privy of competing with the European white man. They're envious of him, but they don't want to chip in and kick in to meet him halfway. Even when the white man has offered the other to join them in the success, to join them when they had the merit to do so. They slapped the hand away when offered. And even when the hand's offered a second time, which is an empty seat, that's not the big chair, mind you, the big chair that the white man sit on, they still take that empty seat that's not even next to the big chair until when the big chair gets the camera on. That's where that empty seat shows up. But that empty seat is nowhere to be seen once the cameras come off. And even then, they're still making that squawk wherever that empty seat is. But they're not. But we hear them. We shouldn't be listening to them, mind you. But we hear them. But that's why they try to rewrite this whole history thing, because they're envious of it instead of trying to build a new future. And you hear this whole Afrofuturism stuff that they keep pushing, but when you look into that Afrofuturism stuff, they want to again reimagine their world as it was back, as it should have been, as they believe it should have been back then, as in, instead of just reimagining moving forward into the future with Afro. Like, I like the concept of Afrofuturism, like a future where black people thrive. Yes, I like that. I like that idea. The problem is you keep going back to the past and try to redefine the past when you should be building the new future. You got the bricks, you got the tools, you got the opportunity, but you never ever think to consider to build the future. You want to rebuild the past. All that tools and all that resources wasted on rebuilding the past. And then you're still mad to this day. You're still mad. You're still angry at the world because people are fighting back against this idea because they know that this ain't gonna work, and it shouldn't work. It ain't never gonna work. You are delusional about that. Now, I'm not. I'm addressing the people who might catch this in the backwash, those who I know I'm talking about, and I hope they hear me. I hope they hear me. I'm not trying to waste a roar here, by the way. Just letting you guys know, but like that's from what Sarah Proctor is saying. That's where I'm gathering from. The throw your 2 cents in if you like Leiaplussize.
I agree with everything that you're saying. That's what they're trying to do now. It seems like they're trying to tear down. There's an attack on Western culture. There's this huge attack on Western culture through the media. Um, it's like they just, it's like they want to try to erase the 20th century. They want to change. You can't change history. It's like Back to the Future with Marty McFly. You can't go back and try to change when he went back there, his intention was not to change it. He interrupted it, and that's the whole situation with his parents and everything. And when he did that, his parents couldn't meet. And if his parents didn't meet, he was never going to be born. So maybe his parents didn't have the most romantic meeting, but it was still a meeting, and he had to fix it in order to make it right again. There is this whole attack on Western culture, and maybe for the same reasons you just said. There's this jealousy or this hatred for it. And they're trying to, what's the next thing to do? They want to tear it down and eat it up as if it's almost there. The fear that I'm having with all of this swapping and these remaking these films. Nowadays, Hollywood is not remaking movies and shows to entertain. They're remaking this stuff to brainwash you, to change your mind so that their version.
We lost her again. Darn it. This has been quite the ride so far. I'm loving what she's saying though. Really loving what she's saying. So I've already caught up to where I left off with the cons. I'm definitely gonna once she officially leaves, I'm still gonna be here, guys, to read your cons because I thought I was gonna stop this stream when she's back. I thought she was gonna stop this. I was gonna stop the stream once she leaves, but you know what? I might as well just soldier. I was talking about how when you get back, I was going to cut the stream off once you officially leave. But then I start reading the comments from the bottom, like, you know what? Even if you dip out Leiaplussize, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. Read everybody's comments because
thank you. Thank you.
The comments are valued now. Like what these guys are saying, I might read and throw my 2 cents. You go ahead and throw your 2 cents. And continue what you were saying, by the way, before you got cut off, because you were talking about a lot of things that I was really digging. So go ahead,
I was saying that I'll make it real quick, and then I'll it's about 5:15, and maybe for the rest of the 15 minutes, I'll let you read the comments because I'll have to dip out at 5:30. But I just want to say that what scares, I was just bringing out, it seems like they want their version of stories to be the only version of stories. Everybody here, I know you all know that the sequel trilogy under that wicked witch, Kathleen Kennedy, is not true Star Wars. But to the normies, yes, is that wicked queen and her flying monkeys, that is not Star Wars. But she is trying with all her might to make it sure that it's the only Star Wars. And that is not it. So I hope you all realize that is not Star Wars. Rey is not Star Wars at all. Do not buy what that wicked queen is doing over there.
I'm sorry, Leia. I'm laughing because of what you're saying. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you on what you're saying because once you said wicked witch, I hear. You know what? I need to contact Fan Man.
Exactly.
I need to contact Fan Man and say, hey man, where you get that soundboard? Because I'm ready to do some gag sounds here. Because when she said that, I was like, you know what, this was the right cue for me to hit the. It's like playing because it would be playing in the background while you're in mid rant. I didn't mean to stop you, but keep going because I know you're big for time. So get wherever it is that you need to get off your chest before you go.
Yeah, well, that's what That's what I hear when I see her face. I hear exactly that is what.
I'll get you, my pretty. Yeah. And your little doggy too. She's always
Everybody else
heated.
that works under Lucasfilm are her flying monkeys. That's basically what it is over there. But what she's trying to do is make that the only Star Wars, and it's like I said, eating up Western culture. And there's one more, and then I just want to bring up about Finn. My nephew at the time, I all thought when I went to see The Force Awakens that Finn was going to be a Jedi who was African American or a man of color. I was all for that because one, he was
Mm-hmm.
original, and I was interested in the story. What happened? The next two movies, he's this patsy for the Super Wonder Ray that can do no wrong. And like, what happened? I thought that he was going to be the story that we were going to follow. So I was like, where did that go? So I, I mean, it wasn't pandering because Finn was an original. It was a character that he wasn't Black Luke. He was Finn. So I said, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm down with this. I'm ready for this. He just got shot deeper, 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 and pushed deeper, deeper back. And I'm like, this is just garbage. But I digress. I just wanted to say that it seems like there is a eating up of Western culture, that they're trying whatever hatred they have,
Uh-oh.
they're trying
Okay.
to eliminate
Thought we
it.
lost you there. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, me too. I'm still there. I'm here. Okay. Yeah. So they're trying to destroy this Western culture with this pandering. And you can't fight hatred with hatred. It'll get you nowhere. And I just wanted to say that the people doing this, I don't think they like themselves. I think they hate themselves and they want to put everything off on everybody else because they don't even like their own selves. It's something similar to what you were saying, but I'm right there on the same line. It just seems like now movies are books, movies, comics, television, whatever media is being redone to to make it better.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was basically stating on that. And like I said with Finn, I thought Finn was going to be this Black Jedi with this great story, and he just disappeared and he's forgotten. And I feel the same way about the Bucky Barnes character. But I'll
Yeah.
save that for when we talk more about Marvel. I've got a lot to say on that, but we'll save that when we get into a Marvel discussion. But
Yeah.
I feel like
I'm.
Western
I'm.
culture, and particularly
Just like I'm sorry. Just like Matthew Flint. We did the talking Transformers this Saturday. We're doing me and Owen Lister are going to do the talking Guyver. So for you and me, it'll be definitely
Mhm.
be called talking MCU or talking Captain America, whichever one sounds fancier to you.
Oh, sure. You could say talking Captain America and slash MCU. It's all rolled into one because
Yep.
it'll be a part of that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Or
it'll
talking
definitely be a
MCU
part of that.
Captain America. We're brainstorming on the fly,
Yes,
guys.
because that.
We're pretty much brainstorming
Yeah,
on the fly.
yeah. But it's all rolled into one with that. But
Yeah.
if you want to go and read some of the comments, you can go right ahead. You can go right ahead. But I hope that because I'll be bowing out in 10 minutes. But I
Hmm.
hope that I was able to make some points about pandering. Oh, one more thing, Wolf. One more
Go
thing I
ahead.
want to bring up. One more thing. I don't want to say no names, but I think you also have a lot of actors right now who just seem to love being tokens or
Hmm.
love being pandered to. There are quite a
Oh
few
yeah.
out there that I see, and they seem to be very comfortable, and they just don't realize what they've just sunk themselves into. Realize why? For a few minutes of fame in the past, with big classic actors like Denzel Washington and Viola Davis or Cicely Tyson that just passed. These actors got
Oh,
to where
rest her
they're at
soul.
on their own talent. Yes,
Hmm.
yeah,
Rest her
God
soul.
rest her soul. But these are actors that got by on their talent. They didn't pander to anyone. Their talent, and they
Still
told
don't
good
either.
stories and they told good acting.
To this day, they still don't.
I'm sorry,
There's, I said to this day, they still
they still
don't.
don't. No,
Even Morgan Freeman
yeah,
doesn't
exactly,
kowtow to that.
exactly.
But here's
Oh,
one thing we must
I
understand as
agree.
well. Here's one thing we must understand as well. They're raised in a time where they did like if they ever told if I were to hear an interview where Denzel said he had a hard time finding work as an actor because of where he was whatever year he was plopped into, which is probably the 1960s or maybe the 70s, and he was having a hard time finding work. I believe him in a heartbeat because yes, it. I mean, being black in those times, there were times that you were having a hard time finding work, especially in the acting gig. Not too many people would look twice at an African American actor at that time. They were raised around the time where they actually did have to if a man don't work nor shall he eat. He they so they got that's why they're built off their merit because at the time they were on they were on that journey. If a man don't work nor shall he eat. Same thing with Viola Davis. Same thing with Pam Grier. You would They were raised in a time where they are proud of their accomplishments of their beginnings and to their next chapter in their lives. So when they when you hear their interviews, they kept that same mindset as the years went along. So that's why you don't hear them, or at least that's the reason why you don't see them in social media either. They don't have no time for that. They're working.
Exactly. Yes. I agree with you 100%. They were in a time when they really had to struggle, but they never compromised. They
Mm-hmm.
they they knew that I want to be awarded because I am talented, not
Mm-hmm.
because I'm here to fix the box or quote. It's because I am talented. I have something to say, but I'm talented with it. And they all got it done without, like you said, they don't have time for social media. That was not what they focused on. They focused on letting their work do the talking. Your work should do the talking. Your talent
Mm-hmm.
does the talking. That is what's supposed to sell you. You have to sell yourself. It shouldn't be what you are. It's that I'm going to let my work do the talking, and I'm going to let my performance motivate and move people. And if it moves them to change, it makes them change their mind, or it makes them smile, it makes them laugh, it makes them cry. And I have done my job as an actor. And that I feel is lost. We don't have good actors anymore. We have celebrities, we have fake celebrities. We do not have
Mm-hmm.
good actors. We have people wanting to be famous, but they don't have talent. They figured that I fit these boxes, I'm this, I'm that, I'm O, I'm B. And so therefore, bam, I should have this. Or I walk through the
Mm-hmm.
door, hey, I'm the only black woman here. Give me a part or give me respect. Respect is earned. It's not given to you because of who you are. You got to earn that.
And
Even
before
if
you
that
leave,
person that you're,
sorry,
yes, mm-hmm,
I don't mean to cut you midway into it because
go ahead.
I'm feeling your energy right now. I'm feeling that energy. That's ladies and gentlemen. Just before I say anything else, this is a black woman right here. Okay, this is what black women should be aspiring to be. Any black woman that come across this video, this is what you're supposed to be right here. This is your example. Oh, she's gone again. No, no. We're trying our best to keep to do this, man. Oh my goodness. I have something. I still have something to say, but I'm waiting for it to show up. But until then, I'm gonna be reading your guys' comments. I've seen you guys heard my call. You brought up Asian characters. Brian Gilmore from Dynasty Wars, of course, tried and true, the best. Brian Gilmore also brought up Elena, who's Brazilian from Street Fighter 3 specifically. Moses brought Carmen Sandiego, Spy Kids trilogy. Yes, definitely Carmen and Judy. Don't forget Antonio Banderas and and Machete. Uh, Sandra Parker brought Nightcrawler. Definitely. He's German descent, I believe. Uh, we got your back again. So Leiaplussize. I I don't know how much time left you have, but I would definitely want to say this. I want to add this in because this I'm going to harken back to and you can check this one out if it's still here on YouTube because Jay Sherofini, if you know him specifically, he and I did a stream years ago. This is my first shot at streaming, basically getting on YouTube streaming, and it was called "Demystifying the Black Man's Burns." Definitely check that one out. That was my first time streaming, basically being interviewed. And I said this one time, and I said they always crying about representation. I'm paraphrasing myself, by the way, guys. They're crying about representation. Representation. I tell you what. I don't need to see a black person on screen to feel represented. I'm gonna tell you who my representations is: Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, any black historical figure that had did something in history is my representation. I don't look to fictional characters to feel represented. I have to look through history to get that representation. I look to history of what we accomplished in history to get my representation. And and if I really want to seek representation through other people, it would definitely be Morgan Freeman and Denzel Washington and any other black actor that I solely respect. You know, because I respect those who are out there doing something with their lives. And you 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 give me your 2 cents on that front, Leiaplussize. But definitely check out that stream if it's still available on YouTube. It might not be. I don't know, but check that one out
I will
if you find.
thank you. Thank you for the suggestion. I will definitely check that out. I want to say the very same thing. It's how they live their lives, and mostly the passion they have for the talent that they have. I look at, like I said, I look at the person, not what the person is, but who the person is. This time last year, we lost Kobe Bryant,
Mm-hmm.
and what made Kobe Bryant not great, so great to me was not all the wins, but the hard work that he did to get to where he was at. How he stayed up late at night practicing those free throws so he got it right. Until he wouldn't sleep until he could make that shot as perfect as he could, and that equals getting to where you're at. There were no shortcuts. There were no
Yeah,
shortcuts for him. He had to work and he had to earn the respect. They weren't going to give it to him. I got to go out there and earn it. I got to earn it from the fans, and I've got to earn it from my fellow players, and I've got to earn it from my family. So those are the people, and no matter if they're black, white, male, or female, those are the people that what inspires me. It doesn't have to be a person that looks like me. It could just be a human being that inspires me, and how they carry themselves and the passion that they have. Don't worry about the shortcuts and accept their flaws and then go on for what they do. So that is what I would say. And like you said, I don't always look at fictional characters. That is the problem right now. And anybody else who's listening, who's got kids, young people, you guys have got to start thinking for yourselves. Do not let the media mold your thinking. You have to think for yourself. You've got to think for yourself, and don't rely on these fictional characters. It's great to love your heroes, but don't rely on your heroes to guide you through everything in life. You also have to find out who you are and who you yourself are. That's why this woke is working, because there's people out there that feel that it's their lifeblood, and it doesn't have to be your lifeblood at all. You got to find a thinking for your way for yourself. So that is how I look at it. But I will definitely take that stream into consideration.
If like I say, if it's
Before I
available,
go, I just want
I'll say if it's available, don't if it's not available, don't beat yourself over if you haven't watched it. But if it's there, yeah, definitely give it a watch. But continue what you're saying. I'm sorry because you're about to go. So go ahead.
thank you. I
And
just
also, I'm sorry,
yeah.
we're bouncing off each other. I will say this before you go. Definitely address our commenters and give us give them a final farewell. But say what you're going to say before you do that.
Oh yeah, I just want to say to everyone that came in the stream to listen to this, and if you're listening right now, thank you so much. I've come to get to know you all by the streams and in this chat, and I think you're all super great. You're super wonderful people. All the comments have been wonderful. I've enjoyed reading them. I've enjoyed my time with you. I hope and that we get to do this again. I've talked to Wolf that there are other topics I would like to bring out. I do love the stream, and I hope you all get a chance to have a chance at this well. And I just want to say, like I just want to say that think for yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
this woke pandering crap that's going on is not fact. It's not truth. It's not the reality. You have to make your own reality. You have to make your own self. Just because it's something that you love on bad or it's spoiled or has mold on it doesn't mean you have to continue with it. I think
Right.
another problem with this business is that a lot of you guys know your pop culture. So a lot of normies don't. A lot of normies are just jumping on this bandwagon because they want to jump on it. But a lot of you do. So if you know what is truth, stick to that no matter what anybody says to you. But I have had a wonderful time here, and I hope I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I gave you something to enjoy.
It did.
I hope I
We
have.
all did.
And Wolf, we have to. What is the next?
Sorry.
What is? I was. Do you have a topic for next Thursday, or would you like for me to
Uh,
message
yeah,
that to you while
yeah,
you plan your
yeah, just
schedule?
message me for next Thursday because next Thursday is still open. We still got the final season of X Men Evolution for next Tuesday. The review that I mean, so I,
Okay, I know that's a
if you
lot.
want, if you want to
Okay,
jump in
all
on
right.
next Thursday, I'm definitely open for us to jump in again, do this again next Thursday. That goes for anybody else who wants to join me for any other Thursdays because we're like I said, this whole month is basically Black History Month, but I'm doing the X Men specifically. My timing is crazy, guys. With these streams, it's incredible that I'm actually doing tackling X Men content on Black History Month when X Men is somewhat. Oh, we lost her again. I think she might not be. She might not return. If she do, that's fine. Let's keep going. Uh, let's run into Troy's comment here. I've been looking at it for a long time. I want to read it real quick. The Ultimate Universe Ultimates had Captain Italy, um, Umberto Landi. I would really like to see a miniseries fleshing out that character until we do. I'm not represented. I don't mean to laugh, Troy. That I know. I'm pretty sure you probably meant that as a joke. Mazera says Harley Quinn is Jewish. That explains the accent. Sarah Proctor, pretty much every Chris Claremont original X Men characters from different countries. Like, yep. A lot of things that Chris Claremont we have to really chuck up to. He's done quite a lot of things, and basically anything he's done so far was great and brilliant for the X Men. He's a brilliant storyteller. I need to get all of his books so I can really learn off of him. Um, yeah, yeah, Melissa. We know you're talking about DCAU Harley Quinn, not Robbie Harley Quinn as I call her. She also brings up Rhea Repulsa and Scorpina and Trini as Asian actresses, or at least Japanese. In the case of Thuy Train, she was. I'm not gonna do it at the risk of getting it wrong. Bragamar brings up some examples for from Dynasty Wars. Unfortunately, Schooner to it. Hopefully, she'll get. I'll read it on her behalf for Leiaplussize. Schooner to the Leiaplussize. Oh, actually, to myself too. There's another problem with representation such as diversity. When we hear these words, we immediately think black people. This in itself is prejudicial. I agree with that sentiment. It really they don't mean diversity of culture as I like to call it, because there's different versions of diversity. There's diversity of culture, diversity of thought, diversity of ideas. They don't. Yeah, you don't. They always want to push something to their benefit when it's convenient for them. You know what I'm saying? They try their best to sound very virtuous and you know very virtual signaling. What that's what I meant to say. When they mean by diversity, they mean virtual signaling. So whoever I hate to use this analogy, but I'm reminded of Get Out, the movie Get Out. I'm seeing it now. It's like looking at the slave auctions in a way, or at least they're having a bidding war on who's the next best diversity hire or the next best diversity character they want to exploit. That's why I see it in a way, and it's uncomfortable to think about. Definitely. Uh, okay. Melissa Harris brings up Rush Hour detectives Carter and Lay from Rush Hour. Definitely. Buddy Cop specifically, yeah. Brian Gilmore says, "You want Hispanics? How about Carlos Valerte from Power Rangers, from Turbo all the way up to in space?" Yes, I love that guy. He's a character in his own right too. He's not there as a diversity hire. No. In a matter of fact, if you really want to see good minority characters being represented in media, watch Power Rangers. Watch Power Rangers. You will find no short of any other race being brought into those shows. You know, even if they tend to cast different ethnicities to play different ethnicities. Like for instance, in the Neil Saban series Samurai, the character who's specifically supposed to be Hispanic in the in Samurai, he's actually played by a Thai, you know, a man from Thailand, which is interesting. But if you saw him, he looks like he could be Hispanic descent, which is interesting, is to say the least. I guess Leiaplussize won't be showing up. I guess that was our final favorite. So if Leiaplussize catch this in the backwatch, thank you for joining me. Thank you for your words and your insights, and definitely hopefully we'll pick this up again next Thursday, and hopefully we will have better we'll have better connections and not have technical difficulties. Uh, well, there's also throwing some more examples. Oh my goodness! Thank you. Shang-Chi. She brought Shang-Chi. She brought Lucius Fox. She even brought up everybody's bringing up Monica Rambeau. She also brings up Marvel as the original Captain Marvel before Carol Danvers took his mantle. And I wish they would do the proper passing of the torch on that front. Because I'm open to Carol being Captain Marvel, but the way how they handle it is terrible. Sarah Proctor brings up Young Ripper. That's my boy. I love Young Ripper. Young Ripper 59 is a huge fan of Mark Rambeau. That's that, bruh. You watch Young Ripper? I watch Young Ripper. He my boy. He my boy. Matthew Flynn brings up Jackie Chan. Sarah also brings up that new Zorro is going to be a woman, probably, or possibly non-binary. Yeah. More Walker Texas Ranger from Melissa Harris. I'm not too familiar with Walker Texas Ranger to really get emotional about that Melissa Harris, but from my position, I don't like it either. I don't like the fact that they're rebooting Walker Texas Rangers, giving their own woke spin on it. But yeah, so in some ways I feel your pain there. I'm a fan of it, but I'm not that well versed into it to really invest my time into that notion. Uh, Brian Gilmore has an interesting comment. He says, this reminds me of a black friend who was told he wasn't a real black if he didn't like rap music, facepalm. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'll share another story too. As I'm reading the comments, I'm gonna share another story, and you guys give me your 2 cents. I got 12 watchers here. Huh. Nice. Very nice. Uh, da, 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 da. This is a comment I wanted to look at too. Matthew Flint says Lovecraft's best friends and the wife was Jewish. Definitely, definitely. That's the biggest irony there. They tend to overlook that too. That's the problem. They always overlook the fact that a lot of these so-called racist, sexist had friends of people that they're supposed to hate, technically supposed to hate. Excuse me. Simon Proctor says there's only one race swap I've ever liked. Princess and the Frog worked for me at least because they set the story in early 1900s New Orleans instead of. I wouldn't call that a race swap. I would call that a retelling that doesn't have to pander to the woke thing. It was a retelling of Princess and the Frog, but think of it like this: you ever seen Happily Ever After fairy tales for every children? That was a show about um, stories told, but with a different cultural perspective on it, a different cultural spin to it. Like you had Pinocchio that was played by Will Smith, and he was a black Pinocchio. You got the Asian Little Mermaid that told us. It was like I said, it was told the exact same story in a certain way, but it had a very cultural spin to it. Like not only was a color painted over it, it was more of a they really committed to the cultural design to it. Like they also had Robinita Hood, not Robin Hood, Robinita Hood, a Mexican Robin Hood, told in Mexico. You get what I'm saying now? Now, granted, a lot of the merry men were merry women, so they made the merry men an all female group this time around. Like Lil Jon was a woman, Friar Tuck was a woman, I think. Probably, I could be misremembering that. Marion was a dude, but he wasn't really a damsel per se. He was more of he was a soldier this time around, and I like that. I like the Robinita Hood idea, and even Rapunzel was black in fairy tales. Happily Ever fairy tales for every child. Even Mother Goosebird. They call her Mother Goose. The reason why they call her Mother Goosebird because she was played by Whoopi Goldberg. That's why they call her Mother Goosebird. But there's that they had a they had a white Oki Kong. They had Jewish. I think they were Jewish. I'm going to assume that they were Jewish. They had Jewish. Jack and Jill. They were Jewish Jack and Jill. Salt and Pepper was the three kittens. Three blind mice. I forgot who they were played by, but the pigs were played by Hispanics, of course. I think. I can't remember. My memory's shoddy. But from where Sarah Proctor's coming from, that's not a race swap. That's actually a retelling, but with a different culture in mind. That's how I see it. You can think what you like, Sarah Proctor. That's just what I think. That's how I saw it actually. Troy says, no, they want to tell a story for no other reason than to harp on the Lovecraft was racist trope. It's old and tired. Yep. Let's say bringing us Shaq Shock as another black character, black superhero. Brian Martin brings up that they have race swapping because they have no ideas. I argue that they're just not creative enough to create new stories, so they have to race swap, or at least to those who are okay with it, they think it's a good idea to do it. John Stewart Green Lantern. Everybody loves John Stewart Green Lantern. I still love Hal Jordan though. Still love Hal Jordan. Shaft, Dracula. Listen, you spend some history right here. You spend some history. Big Mama Jamal Skywalker, Earl Malcolm from Bad Boys. Oh, Jamal Skywalker from Black Knight. That's what you're talking about. Earl Malcolm from yeah. Earl. Who's Earl from? Oh, are you talking about Earl from yeah? Okay, Earl from National Security. So in this comment, you're talking about Big Mama Jamal, Skywalker from Black Knight, Earl from National Security, um Bad Boys, of course. Yeah, Malcolm. Japanese horror films. Sorry, she brings up Japanese horror films. Have horror films like Guinea Pig and Ringu and more. Yep. Yeah, she also brought Godzilla as well. Brian Martin shed some light about the Japanese too. He says media has a trope of the lone wolf in America. Yeah, lone wolf American. I mean, Brian Martin says also, if people are so sick of white protagonists, they should consume media that isn't Western. I mean, we have Soul Food, we have Friday, we have Roman J. Israel Esquire, John Q, Training Day. To name the black side of things. For the Hispanic, we got Blood In, Blood Out. There's one that's on Netflix I recently watched that I used to that me and my classmates watched it in junior high school, but I forgot what it was. It's a story about this Hispanic class that's trying to sell at math, and they're a bunch of inner city kids. Mercedes also brings up Italian horror thrillers. Hopefully they got better with that front. Andy Mia, she brings up like Trauma, Full Moon features. Yep, I love the Full Moon features. Here's Troy's comment right here. He says the biggest problem with waist swapping is by doing that, you don't have a new, for example, Wonder Woman. The character inevitably will be the Black Wonder Woman. Yeah, that's basically putting another insult to the character. And you know that they'll fire back and say, "Well, she's more than just a black character. She's powerful." Like, stop right there. On that same token, you cannot tell me why she better than original Wonder Woman like Diana Prince. You cannot tell me why you like her outside of the fact that she's black. I argue that makes you racist because you like them for them being a race. So not only are you racist towards your own people, but you're also racist to the people that you're supposed to be virtue signaling. So you're saying you like me because I'm black. You don't care about my personality. You don't care about my interests. You don't care about what I do as an occupation, or if I do decide to build my own business, my own brand. You don't care about that. You care about me because I'm black. That means to tell me that if I was in a burned building and there's a white person right there, you'll go straight to me because you feel the need to say it's black man when you don't think to say both the black man and the white man, and you call yourself a humanitarian. Sorry, rant over. But I will highlight Silent Graver's comment real quick, addressing to me and Brian Gilmore. That's really interesting. I actually did not see the race swap in Allura. Well, that's the thing. Allora's an alien. That's the reason why you didn't see it, because Allura in Voltron Legendary Defender is an alien. She's basically called an Altaean. I like how you call it Altarian, but it's an Altaean from and I like that idea. I like that she was made an alien this time around instead of just being somebody's pet token minority character, as I like to call them these days. But yeah, they definitely had different skin tones. Like Karan was I have to retract what I said about Karan. Karan is mostly yellow. He's not really white. But if you took the shade, he definitely would be white. There was also I keep forgetting her name, but she was another Altaean that was introduced later on in the season. I think her name was Ran, I think, or Roma, I think her name was. But she was a new addition. But she looked not. Point being, she looked nothing like Karan or Allura, and that's what made me invest more into the Altaean culture more, because of the fact that she was that the Altaeans weren't really coded a different skin color, the same skin color. They had different skin tones which made them a very shall we say, melting pot. But you know, like I said, that being said, them being alien, you can't really call them a black person, a white person, a British. They're specifically Altean, but they had a different design to them, which I liked. Same thing with the Gaura. The Gaura, that's one thing I didn't really get. That's one thing I forgot to get into. The Gaura. The Gaura come in different shapes, sizes, and difference in design. Zarkon looks like a dragon, a half human, half dragon. Zeltran looks like a Wolverine with big ears, like Logan Wolverine with big ears. There's other Gaura that looks like I think her name was Zexel. Zexel. She looked like a straight up red alien with a head tail, so to speak. There's also that blind alien. I forgot her name, but she had tail. Like they're all specifically Gaura. They're all specifically Gaura, and they come in different designs and looks. Even the what are they called again? They're called. It's the. I'll move on. Here's another thing about what I loved about Voltron Legendary Defender. There was a lot of half breeds. Lotor was half Altean and half Gaura. I'm not gonna get into how that happened. Just watch the show for yourself because if you want to, it gets a bad rep, but it was an interesting show to be had. But yeah, Lotor is Altean and Gaura mixed. Same thing with Keith. Keith in this version, he's half Gaura and half human. His mother is Gaura, and his father is human. And I like that too. I like that new that's one thing I loved about Legendary Defender. They kept bringing in new ideas and new iterations for characters. But they did some. That's the thing. They did something with it. They did something, and that's the reason why. That's also the reason why I rewatched it, because it had interesting ideas. But we could talk. I can make another stream about Voltron any day. I'll say that for another day. I can go on and on until I'm blue in the face about Legendary Defender and what I liked and what I disliked about that one. So I'm gonna move on and Brian Gilmore is actually is elated that Sound Grabber has lasted. So I'm elated that she lasted this long too. And she says thanks to Brian Gilmore in between lessons, trying to tune in when I can. Yep, I'm glad that you did, Silent Grabber. I definitely glad you did. It's going to. He says, laugh out loud. I would love to see a fantasy show where a character says they have same-sex parents and someone call them out on it. In fact, it could be a running gag of the character asking. Definitely. Neil Star is here. I admit, I knew that you were here, but I didn't get a chance to because we were back and forth, and I was like trying to get through the I try to get through the comments as best I can, but I wanted Leiaplussize time to shine here, and before I even began, I told her like this is gonna be your stream mostly. I'll let you talk. I'll try my best to let you talk throughout this whole stream because she's had a lot to say. She had a lot to get off her chest, and hopefully I was able to give her that chance to get that much off her chest, and hopefully we'll do this again definitely next Thursday. Definitely look for that. Neil Star has his cadence as always. The brilliant star that shines through the night, the surge of power that jumpstarts justice. Rise, a man stands before you. Melissa Harris also brings up something from Steven Universe. I mean, Adventure Time, another show that I love. Adventure Time got woke SJW with Princess Bowgun. I felt sorry for Finn. He dies alone. I thought he ended with somebody at the end. I didn't know that. I know that they paired up Bubblegum and Marceline, but I thought Finn either ended up with Susan. I thought he ended with her at least. Because I thought they were having. Well, at least I thought he ended up with Flame Princess. Because they were trying to be an item too. I didn't know they. She also calls them parasites. The woke SJW. Neil Star says, woke SJWs constantly ask for handouts while providing nothing in return. Not only is it impractical to pander to them, but they don't make up nearly enough audience to justify the pandering. That is so true. Like I said, they like the novelty of looking at things on a screen than they do actually owning it in their hands. And they don't want to build something off of that. That's why we should let them where they were on the ground. Instead, we should be high up on our towers. Liz Harris also brings up Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby and Joe Simon created Steve Rogers. I also love 50s Captain America, aka Commie Busted Captain America, aka Cap 2.0, Cap and Jack Monroe, aka Bucky 2.0. I agree also, Melissa Harris. Hickman's run on the X-Men's bigoted. Definitely bigoted. Brian Gilmore also brings up Neil Starr's comment. He says, I've been saying the same thing for months. Preach it, my dude. Preach it. Preach it, baby. Preach it. Brian Gilmore to Leiaplussize. If she were here, I'll read it on her behalf. Says, preach it. I've been playing the Dynasty Warriors games for years. They focus on China's Three Kingdoms era, which I find very fascinating. Leiaplussize. That was for you. Schooner also for Leiaplussize. I agree. All this pattern is making us cynical. Instead of getting excited about new stuff, we are instead asking, what's the political message now? I'll admit myself, every time I see a black character, or at least something on Netflix that has like black people stamped in front of, like, okay, is this gonna be woke stuff? It makes me hard to actually pick and choose any material that happens to have an African American in it. It makes me hard to really get into it because I'm worried that they might pull a message to the audience out of their behinds in the middle of the movie. And I'm like really worried now. Like this is what you guys created. I'm addressing the issue, the social progressives right now. This is what you have created for us. We are now hesitant to watch a material that could potentially be good because we keep asking, oh, where's the message now? What's the theme now? The false theme that they're trying to slap on when really the movie is about bashing white males, bashing any kind of males in general, but specifically white males. And I'm sick of it. I'm really sick of always having to be hesitant to watch material now. Neil Starr says, the same SJWs who insist on there being more representation in Western media almost never consume the media from the cultures group they seek. They don't. They want white people to do it. They don't ask. And you know something also, Neil Starr? The black people that do it, that do create, they're still talking about the exact same things that the SJWs are talking about. So even then, when you have the right people to do it, quote unquote, the right people, they're talking to. I can go forever about that. Actually, I can keep going, but yeah, it'll probably pick back up. Now the plan gives me. I knew it was Transformers related. It says Kaon is the capital city of the Decepticons on Cybertron. Okay. So you want to be the Decepticon, dude? I thought you were an Autobot. Matt News says he's late. I don't know if he said anything else. Oh, Dread 2012 Death is here as well. Who else is here? I'm pretty sure a lot of people have popped in since I've been lollygagging throughout this whole stream. I think that's everybody that's. And Leiaplussize, thank you for dress. So she says, sorry, my internet went down before I could say bye to you all. And and thank you for listening to me. It was again to Leiaplussize. It was a very pleasure having you here. Definitely, very a pleasure. And again, hopefully next time we do this, we'll have better technicals working. And yeah, that goes for everybody who wants to join in. So far, next week, I'm definitely going to have Leiaplussize for next Thursday. But the Thursday after next, guys, you know where to contact me. You guys know where to contact me. We, Minds, Facebook. You know where to contact me. Do not, everybody saying bye to the Lady of Valor. But yeah, definitely, yeah, definitely contact me. And I'll see where we can start from there. Because Schooner and I are still doing the Black History Month theme with X-Men. So yeah, and I call up with the chat again because the chat just decided to jump, and that's where I saw everybody else's chats. Y'all give me some list of stuff to buy into, guys. I'm probably gonna be here almost 5 hours, even maybe. I don't know. uh, 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 uh. Also, Melissa Harris has a message for all of us. She says, "Happy Black History Month and almost Valentine's Day, everyone." Just for a side tangent there, I'm gonna piggyback off of Morgan Freeman's uh line about Black History Month. Black history Black history is American history. I don't need no. I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna side with Morgan Freeman. I don't. They've been in talks for a long time for removing Black History Month. I'm at this point now. I'm all for it. I'm all for removing Black History Month because Black history is American history. And I'm gonna quote Morgan Freeman about that interview about Black History Month. You're gonna relegate my history to a month? Excuse me? You're gonna relegate my history to a month? And I'm gonna repeat him. Black history is American history. So I'm sorry to say that, guys. I'm of the principle of we should not have a Black History Month. Black history is American history. So, as disillusioned as that sounds, that's where my stance is as of right now. So, again, I'll play ball and say Happy Black History Month to you guys as well. And if you guys want to celebrate, that's on y'all. I'm not going to look at you differently. I'm not even going to look at you sideways. I respect your decision to celebrate Black History Month as any way how you can, however you can. I used to celebrate Black History Month by playing Martin Luther King's speech, and before this month is over, I'm definitely going to be playing Martin Luther King's speech, but I'm also going to play a few Malcolm X speeches too, because I've been ignoring my boy Malcolm for all his preaching and his flaws, both of them specifically, both of them, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. They both have flaws, but I still stay true to what they were all about when they rose to the occasion during the civil rights movement. So definitely, thank you for to Melissa. Thank you for that. Sorry about that. Just going to congratulate Leiaplussize saying your statement about Kathleen Kennedy being a wicked queen. I salute you. More Kathleen King comment from Neil Starr. He says Kathleen Kennedy effectively killed the toy market. Star Wars toys should always be toy sellers. I'll also argue that the fact that they got rid of Lucas Arts, now we're not going to get any good Star Wars games. I mean, so far we have Jedi Fallen Order. Squadrons is it's decent, but it's weird. It's really weird. Design wise, I mean. It's coming up. What's also coming up in their games? That's about it. I think that's about it. I have not played the new Battlefront 2. I'm playing the old Battlefront on my 360 my Xbox One. I got the classic Battlefront and I got the classic Battlefront 2. I'm good. I don't need Battlefront 2. New Battlefront 2. I'm good. Uh, uh, Los Harris also brings up me and my son try to be at every stream. We can also, to quote Batman, we're part time. Yeah, it's fine. Like I said, you're not obligated to stay. You know, if you got things to do, do it. That's in our current climate. Be productive, everybody. That's what I'm saying. Be productive. Try your best to be productive. I know we're. Let me get off of that and stick to reading the comments real quick. And Neil starts so mad about Finn getting shafted so hard. Which Finn are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about Star Wars fan, not Adventure Time fan. Oh, good. Mus Harris, you got your boy some DCAU games for the Game Boy. It should have been Finn, Brian. It should have been Finn. I was gonna tell Leiaplussize before she left. I thought Finn was gonna be the next Jedi, front runner of this trilogy. I really thought Finn was going to be the Jedi because they even had it in the trailer when he ignited the lightsaber. I was like, oh snap, Finn's gonna be a Jedi, and he was a stormtrooper. I didn't even care. That's the thing. I cared more about him being the fact that he was a stormtrooper that's going to be a Jedi, considering how many times Jedi slaughtered stormtroopers, how many times Jedi slaughtered clone troopers when the clones turned on them. You know, the fact that you see stormtroopers getting slaughtered by the droids in the original trilogy. Now you get a stormtrooper that's going to be the good guy, and more so, a Jedi. And what they do in Rise of Skywalker, they relegate all potential things that they could have done with him to a black girl. When she talked about how they didn't fire back on civilians, so you're not gonna add that to what Finn did. Like, you're not gonna add a line that said, "When you desert the First Order, we fall suited. We were inspired by you." Nothing, JJ. You didn't have her congratulate Finn for leaving the first. Because remember, Finn left the First Order. He deserted. But you're not gonna throw that line in? Oh, she's her character. I'm pausing because that infuriated me so much when I was in the theater with my mom and my stepdad when we watched that, and I heard her talk about that. I'm like, bruh, you're not gonna give the glory to Finn in that moment? Wow. Neil Star also says John Boyega literally did a movie where he fought aliens with a sword. Kennedy really screwed up making Finn a glorified delivery boy. Yeah, I still haven't watched Attack the Block. That's gonna be on my bucket list. Watch Attack the Block. I'm definitely gonna watch Attack the Block. Yeah, he did fight aliens in that movie. Whew. It's a scary movie too. Troy says the SJWs at Disney need to understand that they cannot serve two masters. You can't obey and please China and SJW sensibilities. China is racist. Chinese government, I will argue, but not the people as a whole. But yeah, that doesn't change the fact that you're right, Troy. That does not change the fact that you're right. Neil Star says, I'm up for Guyver / Transformers talk. We've already did the Transformers talk last week, Neil. Check the backwatch on that one. Me and me and Matthew Flynn talked about the Transformers trip from the original series all the way up to the Bayformers. Check that out in the backwatch. But definitely hit us up for the Guyver talk this Sunday. Matthew Flynn says, "My fellow Brit John Boyega deserved better." Yes, yes, he did. I'm sorry. Oh, if you want to see John Boyega in a good movie, check out Imperial Heights. Definitely check out Imperial Heights. Rangamar says today. Sorry, totally agree about today's actors. They don't want to earn anything, just have it handed to them. Yeah, they act like a little brave child. Your demeanor is that of a poly child. Your politics bore me. And what's worse, you've alienated the core audience that gives us money and we give back in demand. Yeah, don't forget about the Cortez brothers. Melissa Harris. Melissa Harris also says she respects all forms of history, no matter how ugly it was. Definitely. Uh, yeah, this right here. She says, "I hate woke SJWs arresting history by removing statues and historical art and more." I brought that up with my mom one time. I was like, once you practice fascism, I cannot fall. There's no hope for me to join your cause or whatever cause that like I'm not on board with any cause that practices fascism by removing statues and removing anything from history and rebranding things in history or rebranding anything for that matter in a sanitized fashion. That's um that's fascism. When I saw the tearing down of statues and stuff in England and somewhere in the states, I was like, that's fascism. That is fascism. Unless it's a fascist dictator that saw themselves above humanity, then I say, yeah, go ahead, rip that down. But anybody who's made history, who has made history, I'm glad they took down that statue of that girl raising that fist, because that's not a historical figure. That's not a historical figure. If it's a historical figure, it's somebody who has made history or made an impact in history. You do not tear that statue down. If it's a fascist dictator that's in love with themselves, yes, you tear that down, because there's nothing to erect a statue of unless you keep it in your private home. But for anybody to admire it passing by in the park, at a local library, or say a monument for that matter, you do not tear that statue down, because that's a statue of importance in history. But if you want vanity, you can have that statue erected in your own home, sculpted even. You do that. Don't tear down a historical figure, regardless of your misgivings and your attitude towards that historical figure. Sorry, another tangent. That if that triggered me. That really triggered me. Neil Starr says, "Hell, my representation is Dwayne McDuffie. I also want to be an accomplished creator and writer who gets to work with other talents to, to bring brilliant ideas to life." Well, you don't have to necessarily find brilliant talents. The brilliant talent is you, right there, right? You look at yourself in the mirror if you want to think about the brilliant talents and stuff like that, and find other like-minded people who willing to be a brilliant talent yourself. Not just famous people. You built yourself to fame. Build yourself to fame, and build your friends up to fame too. Don't be yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Uh, I had that imagination. I had that. Yeah. I imagine myself doing that too. Being around famous people who worked on the industry and stuff like that. But I'm like, you know what? Why don't I build an industry myself instead? Because I'll be looking to the sky too much and not do anything. I'd rather be building my own industry. Everybody's taking to Leiaplussize's call sign, the Lady of Valor. I'm gonna start giving y'all guys call signs. She's gonna be Valor. Brian Gilmar's gonna be Saint. Schooner's gonna be Schooner. or tuna. Item of those is gonna be scribed. You okay?
Yeah. Oh, I'm just happy.
Uh, Owen's gonna be Owen's gonna be either Guyver or Patriot. If I ever decide, if I ever do decide to, you know, do any of you guys vehicles, I'm gonna put y'all call signs on the side, like the Jets. That's gonna happen. I gotta do that. I want to do that so bad, so bad. Anyways, let me look into more of your comments. Oh yes. Oh yeah, Neil Star. Oh yeah. Biggest crush. Biggest crush. I'm right, bruh. I'm with you right there with Aaliyah. I'm like this with Aaliyah, but I'm also like this with Aaliyah. I'm like that. That's where I'm at with Aaliyah too, and Left Eye. Lisa Left Eye Lopez. I'm like that too. Sarah says to me the X Men represents the outcast definitely, and she also likes the ultimate version of Goblin. Hmm. But she also loves every version of each Goblin. Okay. Neil Star also says adds more to the Power Rangers talk. Carlos and Adam, Johnny and Bosch team up during Power Rangers in Space. I love that episode. Once a Ranger. That's what it's called. Once a Ranger. No. Was it Once a Ranger? I think it was called. No, Once a Ranger was that dumb team up episode in Overdrive. What's the episode name? That's one of my favorite episodes of In Space too. I have to look it up. And he says, "You follow Young Ripper?" Yep, I follow Young Ripper. That's my boy. He tells it like it is. He's crude for sure. For anybody who wants to look him up, just letting you guys know, he's very crude. Very crude. He talks a lot about politics. He talks a lot about. He's a libertarian, by the way. That's why he talks about politics. But he also talks about comic fandom and all that stuff. He's legit. But just letting you guys know, his criteria is mostly political, social political, and he also produces music. He's a rapper. He's also a music producer. He also does music. Just so you guys know that. Neil Star also says, "You don't mess with Zorro. He's a cultural icon and literary figure. It's nothing sacred." Apparently not. That's why you gotta preserve it. Get your own copy of the classic Zorro. You know, do all that. Hello to you too, Dredd. He said hello to everybody. Manu says, "Sometimes I feel like Hollywood created the stigma around race bends on purpose. I think it's manufactured too. In some parts, I'm led to believe that some of it is manufactured." Even Brian Martin agrees with you. I mean, how his comment as well. He says, "So they could feel like they're accomplishing something when in actuality nobody gave a crap either way." Take me back to the 90s, man. Take me back to the 90s. Dredd says, "It's P plus P equals R theory, so woo!" Melissa, we can talk about this another time about your son and his and I feel for you. I feel for your son, but I have to agree with Matchstick. Please talk to somebody about that. Talk to a therapist about that. I already know you said enough in the comments, but like, yeah, just take it to a therapist. We're here for you, but yeah, take it to a therapist, please. That also says Black Wonder Woman existed before and failed miserably because it was so badly forced. Eventually, they changed it back, but gave the Black Woman Wonder Woman a new superhero title, I think, and then she failed. Fell from the comics because no one cared. I think something like that did happen too. I'm not sure what they called her though back then. Rangamar says, exactly, they always judge people by race, gender, sexuality, etc. Yeah, they're the most judge. They need to look at a mirror themselves, is what I'm saying. This is the was it Romel? Oh yeah, Romel. Yeah. Romel was the Altan, the new Altan that they found, that Allure finds later on in the series. Like, I would say the context, but I'd rather you guys watch the show to get the context for that. Why Romel is important is what I'm saying. Why Romel is important. Why I bring her up is what I'm saying. But yeah, watch the show to get the context for why she's specifically important in my eyes. Oh, that's nice. Leech Woman from Puppet Master. She used to creep me out, man. And why is the comment not highlighting? There we go. This is the comment I want to highlight from Sound Engraver. Sound Engraver says, when I was a kid, Black History Month was a special time, but you can't have Black History Month when you're insistently promoting and or pandering African Americans year round. Yeah, it makes it pointless at this point. I went to Target yesterday, and I went to window shop there mostly, and they sectioned off in that store. They sectioned off specifically a small part of the store for Black History Month, and I looked at the the merchandise, and I whispered in my mind, I said, I don't even want to be here. And I quickly, hastily walked away from that section because it felt wrong. It felt hollow. And then I went to the book section, and boy, oh boy, oh my goodness, I saw some things that, put it like this, I saw some things I did not like. If you guys want me to bring it up in the comments, I'll bring it up. But yeah, Black History Month is now. That's why I'm like, yeah. Oh, we brought Nubia, Dread. Yeah, we brought Nubia. And it's sad because they could have made her a good character on her own with different powers or better slightly different ideals. That is true. Like, at least look up Brazilian. She's Brazilian specifically. But they could have looked up Brazilian culture and like really use something like that. Neil Star says, so we got actual diversity in visual designs. I don't know who you're addressing that to. Me, maybe? Where's the context? Oh, what do you mean, Dread? The harshest of those Valentine's Day. Oh, are you mean? Oh, right. There's a lot of people talking about it's singles month. I'm like, get off your butts and go mingle with somebody. Valentine's Day doesn't specific. Here's my perspective on Valentine's Day, guys. Since we're in this month, my perspective on Valentine's Day. If you got a lover, yes, spend Valentine's Day with your lover. If you have a person that you secretly admire, don't get creepy now. Hang out with that person you secretly admire. But don't be creepy. As a matter of fact, forget what I said. Forget what I said on that one. Actually, don't do that. Just spend Valentine's Day with somebody that you care about. That's your friend. That's probably your your good friend or somebody who you associate with that you admire that you respect. In fact, spend Valentine's Day just going out and mingle. Have fun with people. Stop focusing on the single life. You're single. What of it? Go out and mingle. Go out and you know, even if a person is even if a person is in a relationship, give the couple of flowers to celebrate Valentine's. Like here's flowers for you too. I'm happy for you too. I'm happy, like and be happy for yourself. I don't get this whole trend of celebrating. I'm single. Yeah, I'm single, and I'm also miserable. No, go out and have fun. You don't even have to watch Valentine's Day specific movies. Invite somebody over if you have to. Give them a Valentine's Day card for their troubles. Connect, communicate. Rant over. Neil Star says, I hope to start making different alien races in my future projects. Do it, dude. If you got any ideas of what kind. In fact, if you want a frame reference, look at the Men in Black series for references. Da, 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 da. Voltron Legendary Defender. I don't know what to bring it. Sorry. You and I can agree you and I can agree to disagree on that one, Matt Nui. It was good, but it started to drag a bit than it needed to compared to Steven Universe. I prefer Adventure Time over Steven Universe. Uh-oh. It jumped again. I can't wait to read that. I'm trying to go through your comments as fast as I can, guys. But every time the chat jumps, I try to do my best to catch up pick up where I left off. Oh my goodness, y'all loving my comment about Black History Month. Jake the dog. What about Jake the dog? Okay, there we go. Try to limit your swearing too, Mad Nui. That's my golden rule. If you guys can swear, yes. There's swear words out that I'm willing to allow, but at the same time, speak with some class now. If you can get your point across without swearing, yes, you can. You don't necessarily need to swear to get your point across. Try your best. I'm not picking on you, man. That goes for everybody in the stream. But if you want to swear, be my guess, just limit it. Keep it limited. Anywhere else, have at it. Y'all be y'all. Do y'all, but here, keep it classy. More Voltron. Lots of Voltron. Mozart says she wished Finn would have have Princess Bubblegum. I'm more of a Flame Princess Finn ship, even if that's impractical. Even though that's impractical, I will even I even shipped Finn with Susan. I thought they were cool as a team and cool as a potential couple. I ship those two. Yes, I'm a shipper. I ain't afraid to admit that. What of it? Sorry. So this is why I need a wingman to talk while I'm looking for comments. And let plus size have fun with everybody. Thank you. I'm glad you have fun. I'm glad I have fun with this. I'm still having fun as we speak. But Sarah's also side with Morgan Freeman. Yep. Man, I love it. Leia plus size is the celebrity here, and I love it. I love it. I'm glad I brought you in this today. I was looking forward to this for the longest time, guys. I tell you guys, I'm telling you right now, I've been looking forward to having Leia plus size on this stream because I know she had a lot to say about it, especially when we first met in many streams. Like she and I bounced off each other in the comments, and like I said, like this whole idea when I started of this year, I was like, I need to have some people on here because I know they want to speak their piece, and I've been waiting. We've been trying to get her into these streams for the longest time. I'm thankful that today the heavens moved for us to have this. So bask in it, Leia plus size. You're the MVP today, and thank you for showing up today. I reiterate that. Thank you for showing up today. Uh, Melissa Harris loves Morgan Freeman. This is what I want to highlight from Sound Engraver. She says, "I get you, Wolf Tan on Black History Month." Yeah. It's maybe next year. Maybe next year, if this whole thing still holds up, I'll probably do a talk on. You know what? Actually, instead of waiting a whole year, I might as well do it by the end of this month, a Black History Month stream. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that for you guys. I'll do a Black History Month stream, and you know what? I'm also gonna do like what Troy did on his birthday stream. I'm gonna have the StreamYard open for anybody to join me. So yeah, either the end of the month or the middle of the month, I'll flip a coin on that one. Anyways, I like Neil Starr's line here. Besides, you don't need a month to tell you when to celebrate history. You do you. That's right, my brother. Right on. Raise that fist. Right on. Melissa Harris has a question. She says, I have a question about Malcolm X. Did he hate whites? I just wonder. Not really. He had a problem with white liberals, mostly. Put it like this. Malcolm X, when it came to politics, he didn't like neither one of them. He was more, and Malcolm X was more of, I would say this, Malcolm X was more militant black than Martin Luther King was. He was all about keeping it within the culture. He was all about making sure every black person stayed true to themselves. He wasn't all about integration, freedom through integration and all that. He didn't like the idea of blacks integrating with whites or any other culture like that. He wanted to make sure. He also wanted to make sure blacks had something, like a black bank, a black business, black home ownership. Medical. Like he wanted to usher. It's not to say he wanted a whole. He didn't want to do things in reverse. Like say, have a black establishment that says blacks only. He didn't want that. At least my inkling. I don't think he ever wanted that. He didn't want no. Instead of saying no whites allowed or having bathrooms saying blacks only or but he wanted it to be black owned in a way. I don't think he particularly hated whites specifically. I think he had a problem with the whites in power. Now, if there was ever a racist white person on street level, yes, he would have a problem with them. But if he puts like this, Melissa, let me put it to you like this, and this is for anybody who was curious about Malcolm X. If he hated white people, he would never have been in the interview with a white person. You understand what I'm saying? If he hated white people specifically, in general, per se, he would not have been. He would not have been in an interview with white people, or at least if he did, he tolerated them enough to be there to speak his piece. Look at the. I will advise you. Look at the Malcolm X interviews. Look at the Malcolm X interviews. Did that look like a man that hated white people in general? Because he had friends who were white. He worked with people who were white and other races, but he had a problem with racist white folks. That's the only problem he had. He didn't hate. I don't think he ever hated white people in general. That news says, all I remember was Malcolm X couldn't make up his mind as to what he wanted to be called. Easy there, Malcolm. Easy there, Matt Newey. Easy there. I'm gonna allow that, but technical foul there. Like I said, regardless of what you think about respect the historical figure. Squirtle says, your story of Finn is far better than what Disney did. I want your Finn in Star Wars. I don't even remember what I did for Finn. That was so long ago. I barely even remember what I wrote for Finn. I know I wrote something good, or at least in my head was good. Was a bit. Excuse me. To speak on my arrogance. Sorry, I don't mean to cough in you guys' ears. Gotta clear my throat. That means I need to get some refreshments. In my mind, if I want to speak on my arrogance, I had. For those who are not in the know, I voiced my Star Wars rewrite in me and my streams, and I forgot what I have in mind for Finn. And I got phlegm in my throat. Let me cough a bit. Excuse me. He says, "Thank you. Yeah, I need water." Squirtle says, also, he says, you have to see Attack the Block. It's fantastic. It's like Gremlins meet Goonies. Yeah, I saw the trailer. And I've been wanting to. Thank you, love you. I've been wanting to see it for the longest time, man. Man, the trailer made it look so good. It's one of the movies I've been wanting to watch, and I didn't even know John Boyega started in that movie until I looked at his IMDb profile. I was like, he was in. Oh my goodness! All the more reason why I want to watch Attack the Block after watching Force Awakens, of course. Now knowing who he is, I'm like, he looked. I actually, you know what was funny? I was like, he looked familiar, and that's when I found out. Neil Star says, I'll check back on that video, Wolftan. It's been a hectic 2 weeks on my end. What video are you talking about, by the way? Oh, Melissa Harris is talking about the ending to Adventure Time, what happened in Adventure Time. Okay. I've been scrolling through the comments. I'm like, wait, what? Are you talking about Adventure Time? What transpired throughout Adventure Time? Okay, never mind. I get it now. Squirtle also says, last thing I'll say about Attack the Block, I already know. I already know that those are suits. The aliens are practicals and stuff. So yeah, I know about that already. I know what I know already of that movie, but I'm like really I'm dying to watch that movie now. Thank you for that, Schooner. Melissa Harris also says, I'm sick of removing books and classical yeah, especially books that they don't agree with. So let me put it to you like this. And let's get into the whole Gone with the Wind debacle and any other things that's considered excuse me, quote unquote harmful and and triggering to some people. So with that in mind, is it okay for me to remove Bridgerton as we were talking about earlier? Because to me, Bridgerton is selling me a lie, so that's harmful and deceitful in my eyes. That's triggering and harmful in my eyes because it's selling me a lie. So by that notion, it's okay for me to remove Bridgerton off of Netflix. What about Cuties? It's very harmful and triggering to me thinking about my niece watching Cuties and imitating the bad habits and terrible antics the girls are doing in that movie. If we're gonna remove Gone with the Wind, we should remove movies like that with our justifiable reasons. Am I right? I mean, come on, come on, come on. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Stop. Think about it. No, I'm kidding. That's why I took to imitate Martin Lawrence there. I love Martin. Martin gets me. He gets me. Uh, yeah, let's add more historical figures to the chat. Leiaplussize, since you're in the comments, I might as well highlight your comment. She said, I left the stream, but I'm still listening. Good comment still. And Wolf continue to rant. Many rants. Why they move John Wayne? John Wayne's cool. Dredd has an interesting comment. He says, any section we should worry about is if people lie about the person in them. I agree. School says, be the industry. I like that. Yeah. Be instead. Yeah. Like I said, it's okay to be a dreamer, but build the dream. Be the dream. Be the industry. If it let me put it to you like this, guys. The mandate that I keep bringing up, and the reason why I do this, is to support the little guy, right? We're the little guys, right? We can be the little guy industries. We can be the small, just like how we champion small businesses. We can be the small industry that's growing. So keep that in mind. Be the industry. Be the small industry. Make your industry how you like. Make money off of it too. Thank you, Brian Gilmartin. It's called Always a Chance. Thank you. That's one of my favorite episodes. I can't believe I forgot the episode name. Adam and Carlos in that episode. That was brilliant writing right there. Very brilliant writing there. That was the Power Rangers episode I was talking about earlier. It's like Always a Chance. That's a good. You know what? That episode had a good message. Even if you maybe not in the you know in the business of saying saving the world and stuff, you still can do something. Or at least you. That's why it's called Always a Chance. You always have a chance in life. That's how I take. That's my takeaway from it. You always have a chance in life. So thank you for reminding me, Brian Gilmartin. Thank you for that. Neil Star says Aaliyah was a phenomenal talent that was gone too soon. Journey to the Past from Anastasia was a beautiful song, along with her virtual tour on the DVD. Anastasia, Aaliyah sung that? I have to look that up. Brian Gilmartin also on the on the Ripper fan says Young Ripper is a smart guy. He is. I kind of build off of him too. He's kind of like another role model I like. So I raised my voice a lot. I got that from him a bit. Uh, she, oh, Melissa Harris is mentioning Amazing Lucas. I don't know who that is, so he's nothing to me. Anybody who I don't know that's gone woke, he or she is nothing to me because they ain't worth my time. No, basically what you're telling me. So he's not worth my time anymore. Okay, that's a name to remember that's not worth my time. So thank you for sharing that, Melissa. And you're welcome. I don't know what you're thanking me for, but you're welcome. And Dred, what are you talking about damn for? What do you mean damn? What's that in context of? Who you address? Okay. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. That's our phone. Okay. Wild stuff is happening during the stream, right? Neil Star about Puppet Master. He says the tunnel from Puppet Master used to creep me out, but when he became my top favorite, Puppet Master was way better than I initially expected. My favorite was always my two favorite was Six Shot and what's I do with the knife? I forgot his name. Yeah, I like Six Shot because I like the noise he makes. He's like he's always like that, and I like the top the fedora hat wearing knife wielder. Forgot his name. Pretty sure you guys are going to tell me in the comments, but yeah, I like his design specifically. Specifically, I like his design. Him and Cue Ball. I think his name was Cue Ball. The small head with the big body and big arms. He was my favorite too. He used to scare me though, cause his big hands. He was well. He scared me because he was freakishly strong. That's what scared me about him. Melissa Harris says, "I want me to bring up your personal life on screen here, but let me read this real quick." So thanks, Wolf Tan. I just wish the Asian girl would have gave him a chance, and I wish her and Kimmy would not have lied to Jake. Jake don't need a therapist. Kimmy and that girl. I will. Okay, yeah, yeah. Um, I will say this. Do your best to move on from that. Do your best to help him move on from that too. There's there's a lot of fish in the barrel, or at least a lot of fish in the lake. It's a lake out there, Melissa, for him to find love. So do just that. But yeah, I will say this. If anybody needs therapy, it's definitely them. Especially if from what you have said, them being pathological liars sounds like they're pathological liars. Neil Star says, sorry, the diversity and designs comment was in regards to the Voltron Legendary Defenders. Ah, okay. Yeah, that was an interesting. It's one thing I loved about Legendary Defender. Not saying that they're the original always trumps Legendary Defender, mind you. But one thing I liked about the fact that was they were definitely diverse in culture with the paladins as they're called in this version. They're called the paladins. Keith was white, of course. Shiro, Sven, the Sven version of a Legendary Defender was Japanese. Lance, I'm gonna assume he was Puerto Rican. Maybe. I don't think he was black. I think he was Puerto Rican. Hunk had this seemed to be Hawaiian or New Zealand or Pacific Islander. And Pidge was Sweden by reading her name. her last name is Gunderson. She was their last name was Gunderson. So I'm going to assume that she was Swedish, or at least somewhere from the from European country descent. Um, there were some other ethnic groups that they brought in too as well. Wasabi, I think her name was Wasami. Then they had also a black character too, but they weren't really the Voltron pilots. They were different a different branch of characters, which I liked, and they were characters on their own right. And that's the reason why I liked them, because they were characters. They were characters. They weren't caricatures. They were characters. Then let's not discount the aliens, which is the Altaians, the Gaurans. I mean the Gaura, the ninja, space ninjas, the plant people from that alien planet that was plant based, and all other forms of there's all other forms of aliens in that world. So that's another thing that they tend to ignore. They tend to ignore aliens too. So I guess they're xenophobic as well. Let's add that to their list of isms and phobes. I don't know what you mean by that, Mad Nui. I really don't know what you mean by that. Okay, all's forgiven, Mad Nui. Not that I was angry there, but yeah, you're right. You're right. He did went through a lot of names, but at least he settled with one. Malcolm X. There you go, right there. He at least settled with one. Let's move up. Let's move up. Let's move up because the chat just jumped again. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I think I know what you're talking about. Silent Graver says, I was happy being single. Then some nefarious professor came into my life. I'm happy for you too, by the way. I'm glad that you two found each other. I really am glad that you found each other through your fandom, by the way, no less. There used to be a saying sorry. There used to be a saying that a woman's way to a man's heart is through cooking. But apparently, a woman's way to a man's heart is through his fandom. Never knew that was possible. But apparently it is. Schooner Twitter says, I'm going to clarify, these are Valentine's Day cards that also celebrate being black. I think both have become institutionalized. It's a business now. They put Black History as synonymous with Valentine's Day. I feel broken, guys. Excuse me. Let me read this other comment. This is before he made this comment. He says also, it's me. You mentioned that section of portion of the store. The Walmart in my area decided to have section combine Black History Month and Valentine's Day cards. Oh no. What does Valentine's Day have to do with Black History Month? What does it have to do with that? That says this. He says, was he talking about how in the Black History, the BLM sections, there are comics that show up that shows MLK's faces swollen up? Who swelled up MLK's face? Who did that? Oh no. Bragamar says, as Appa Benz would say, freaking all scroll. uh, Matthew Flynn says, Kaon may be a Decepticon C, but it wasn't always a Decepticon control. Don't Judas C by the faction in control. I'm messing with you, dog. I'm just messing with you. If you want to call yourself the Gladiator of Kaon, I like that. The Gladiator. Let me see if that can roll off the tongue well. The Gladiator of Kaon, Matthew Flynn. The Gladiator of Kaon, Matthew Flynn. Kaon's Gladiator, Matthew Flynn. The Champion of Kaon, Matthew Flynn. No, I'm kidding. No, but I'm gonna try to fit that into your moniker, Matthew Flynn. I laughed because I just read your comment to Sounding Graver just now. Oh, looking forward to that. By the way, Leiaplussize, looking forward to that. I'm pretty sure everybody here is looking forward to your return, the Lady of Valor. And I'm speaking of any of my wingmen, I'm dying to have Brian Gil Martin as my wingman in one of these streams, if you will, Brian Gil Martin, because I know you've been itching to get on here, bruh. If you ain't got no ideas, talk about Mega Man. You got zero in your profile picture, your user picture, dude. Come on, we can talk Mega Man. I played Mega Man. I played a lot of Mega Man. You guys want to question my Mega Man extension? The first, the a bit of the originals on when they were Ray enough on GameCube. Almost all the Mega Man X series, command missions, definitely. The Battle Network series, I didn't get to finish all of them, mind you. I didn't get to finish all of them, but I had them I did have majority of them on emulator. I did own Cybeast, Fozar, and Gregor. Unfortunately, I didn't finish them, but I have played Mega Man, even Mega Man Legends 1 and 2. So if any of you guys doubt my Mega Man fandom, bruh, you got another thing coming. Even the arcade games, the Mega Man arcade games. In fact, Mega Man was my go-to main in Marvel vs. Capcom 1 when I was playing the arcades. It's okay, Melissa Harris. We all get like that. I'm assuming, but if I'm correcting, I will maintain that I'm just an assumption on my part. Jake is at least what, mid-20s, early 20s. So we get like that around that age at least. So do your best as a mother, and you're doing a great job as a mother. Keep working with them. Bragan Martyr says, is it safe to say Malcolm X predicted the SJWs? I would say it's best to say a lot of those who predicted anything that's SJW related predicted SJWs. Malcolm X was also one of them. So he won. Let's just say this: he wasn't the only one. And prediction, I would say inadvertently predicted, or at least unintentionally speaking. Because if you read his speech about white liberals, you can really graft that onto the social progressive movement. I will also say check out Gothics. She recently put out a video detailing the whole communist mindset that the social progressives have adopted Check out Gothix. Gothix. Check her out. She's also a follower of Young Ripa. She and I are a big fan of Thomas Sowell. You know, so definitely she got some really good videos, guys. So check her out. If you guys want to look up somebody who's like sick and tired of this trash media that we're being fed to. Da, 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 da. Neil Star says Esther is low key trying to bring back segregation and calling it progress. Yep, I picked up on that years ago. Actually, I really picked up on that years ago, and I agree. This is interesting. This letter says the teacher who wouldn't let Jake make Pokemon shirts was racist and segregationist to Jake and his fellow white classmates. It's in the school too. Yeah, I know that. I have words for that, but I can't put them together right now. But yeah, I'm really worried about the schools, especially with my niece. Especially with my niece going for any future school that she's going to be in. Ooh, that's terrible. I'm reading her comments elaborating on the teacher. Ooh, no, no. Get him out of there. Get him out of there. Who is the Duke? By the way. The plus also agree with me with my Gaunt the Wind comment. Let me speed this through. Is it Jester? Oh, she's giving the names. Oh, it's Blade. He's basically called Blade. So she says Sixer and Blade. Oh, he's called Pinhead. Tunneler, Jester, and Leech Woman. Oh, I'm sorry. Right. Salinger corrected me. Last was Cuban. Yeah, he was Cuban. Oh. Ah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe I have a different image of a Cuban in my head. That's probably why I got confused. Because I've worked with I've worked with a Puerto Rican and her family, her mom and dad. I'm not gonna go there. I'll stop. I'm not gonna go there. But yeah, I have a different. Yeah, you guys can label me a racist for saying that. But yeah, that's why I got the confusion from because I had a different idea of what a Cuban is, or maybe what old media's version of a Cuban is. And she also says the way to a man's heart is his fandom. Oh yeah, well I say that yeah. I mean if you both like the same thing, yeah. I never thought I never would have thought that that's what was going to happen. But hey, you know something? Melissa Harris, to quote Terry Crews, White Chicks, once you go black, you will need a wheelchair. More context about the Martin King. He says, like a bobblehead. Yeah, what? Why? Why would they do that? I don't even want that image in my head. I haven't even seen it. I have not even seen what Martin King, what they look like. what the hell Martin King look like now, and I don't even want to see it. I don't even want to imagine it. Dang, the comics explode. Hmm. Let me see if I'm before I continue further. Let me see if I missed anything or anybody. Okay, I'm caught up. I guess. Yep, I guess I'm caught. Yeah, somehow I caught up with you guys. Okay. Brian Gilmore says I played just about every Mega Man except Battle Network and Star Force. I haven't played Star Force. I know I haven't played Star Force, and I'm starting to see some of you guys are fading. So guess I'm going to right. Oh, right. Bragamar also says he's seen some of Gothic's videos. Yeah, she brought a recent one, and boy oh boy is it haunting. Oh, says it was back in the 90s when he was in elementary school. What? Believe it or not, guys, this did all this SJW social progressive stuff started building up in the 90s. As much as I say take me back to the 90s, it was there. It was there. And for a time it was under a different name back then too, by the way. Forgot what it was called though. And Mosera's corrected me. She says that Jake is 28. Okay. Still work with him. Try your best to work with him. Oh. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense because I'm 33. And I was born in 87. Blade from the Puppet Master series is the leader. I thought it was Jack. I thought Jester was the leader. I thought Jester was the leader. At least. Okay. Clarification is early 90s. 90s and early 2000s he was in. Okay. So I got through majority of comments. So I guess either you want me guys to continue or yeah, I'll continue. I'll go back to what I was talking. No, actually, you know what? I was going to bring up something earlier when Leiaplussize was here because she had brought up something. She brought up a show that she was liking, that she was enjoying. Oh no, she mentioned that she liked British stories, and people were questioning why she likes that stuff, right? I like to bring up that I enjoy the series called Vikings, and I'm into Norse mythology to some degree. I'm not that well versed in Norse mythology, but I watched Vikings on the History Channel. That's a good show, and granted, in some parts it's romanticized. Oh, Dread. That's interesting. I think I ran into that when I was touring through the book session in Target. As a matter of fact, let me talk about that real quick before I get back into Vikings. I saw this whole book about what it's called. What did such and such heard? And it says stories about racism. I was curious for a while, and I wanted to pick the book up and look at and read what was in it. I'm like, you know what? If you don't want to go home angry, don't pick up that book. That's what I told myself in my mind. Then there was a book. It was in children's. By the way, this book was in what could have been the children's section. By the way, there was also a book about how to defeat racism. these people are so let's put it like this. These people are so delusional that they can end. They think they're going to end racism forever. Racism will never go away. Goodbye, Melissa. Take care. And you take good care of your son. And I think you know what I want to continue to talk about Vikings, but I think I'll say that for another stream. I might start wrapping this up right now. I know everybody want to head over to the next streams after this, so let me start wrapping this up. Before I end it, let me continue what I was talking about these idiots who think that they can end anything, any social negative for good. You will never be able to. Let's be practical here, everybody. You will never end racism. You will never end xenophobia. You'll never end homophobia. I hate to call that word because a phobia is a phobia that you have irrational fear of something, and I don't like how they call it homophobia. You'll never end transphobia. What they need to do is to allow people to change their minds over time. They need to change their minds over organically. They're trying to force a change. They're not actually ushering in a change. But to get rid of racism, that's a fool's journey. That is a fool's thought process. Because you'll always have people that will hate each other on the basis of race, gender, sexual orientation, religious belief. Why do you think we still have religious wars as of right now? At least, why do you think we have religious attacks based on religion? Based on religion followed. That will never go away. We just gotta be around to combat it when it rears its shiny head. Just like the social progressives, they're bringing back racism. Now we have to fight it in a new kind of way because it's coming back in a new paint polish. Racism, I mean, and it's not led by who you think it's led by. It's led by people who pretend to be the good guys, who don't realize that they're the racists, that they're the sexists, that they're the homophobes, the transphobes, the panderers, the virtual signalers, and all that. Like, we bring up Malcolm X a lot, and he had a point. I'm not gonna quote his message about the white liberals. You guys can look that up yourselves on your own time. But he was right. They welcome you with one hand and betray you with the other. To paraphrase, by the way, for those who don't know that message. But it's not just the liberals either. It's just those who pretends to be, who wants to be a savior in their own head, but don't want to put into the idea that they have to work hard to do that. And I'm gonna leave this stream with this message that I once it's funny that Big Al had brought up Glory as a rewatch material, and I hope that when he does, he has me on there because I have a lot to say about Glory, and I would like to hear his thoughts about the history about the 54th Massachusetts. And of course, it's a speech from one of my role models, Morgan Freeman. I'm looking up right now, but this is the measures that I want everybody to take in, and it don't matter. I'm gonna do an impression, by the way. But this message from what Morgan Freeman's character says, I want you guys to take this with you too. But this is the let's just say this. When me and Leiaplussize talked about the whole blacks looking at each other, you know, just because we don't do everything that's black related, that makes us a sellout. That makes us I don't want to use that word on the stream, but all the names that they give us to denigrate us, to devalue us. But Trip represents, to me, Trip, Denzel Washington's character represents those type of people that says, "Oh, I see. So the white man give you a couple of stripes, and suddenly you start hollowing and ordering everybody around like you the master himself." I don't want to say that word on the stream. He says, "You ain't nothing but the white man's dog," and that's where Morgan Freeman slaps some sense into him. And this is what Morgan Freeman says as Rollins. He says, "And what are you? So full of hate you want to go out and fight everybody because you've been whipped and chased by dogs. Well, that might, well, that might not be living, but it sure as hell ain't dying. And dying's been what these white boys have been doing for going on 3 years now. Dying by the thousands. Dying for you, fool. I know because I dug the graves. And all this time I keep asking myself, when, oh Lord, when it's going to be our time? Going to come time when we all going to have to ante up and kick in like men. Like men. You watch who you call up. You know what that is. If there's any, you know what that is. Around here, it's you. Just a smart mouth, stupid ass, swamp running. You know what that is. And if you're not careful, that's all you ever going to be. Take what, I would say this, the line that he says, I take this wholeheartedly because that's a message to take in your life. If you're not careful, if you see yourself as just another one of those type of people, that's all you ever going to be. In fact, if that's all you see yourself day in, day out as another one of those, that's how they're going to treat you. That's how they're going to see you as. But if you see yourself as somebody of importance, of value, that you carry yourself of importance and value, that you wear a man's suit, not a child's suit, that you wear a woman's suit, not that other word, suit, then they'll see you as you would like to be seen. They'll treat you as you like to be treated if you treat them the exact same way as you like to be treated. You will walk side by side with these people as you walk the walk, talk, and follow up with the talk. Carry yourself as you like to carry yourself. Otherwise, they'll see you as lesser because you'll see yourself as lesser. And that's all I gotta say for you guys. Just let you guys hear that for me. I hope. Excuse me. Thank you, Silent Engraver. I know I censor my. There's a word that I won't want to say, but I know that message. That message goes out to everybody, no matter what you rep, how you walk. That goes for like. I have to repeat that. Walk as you would like to be seen and heard, and they'll treat you as such. If you keep especially when you keep yourself consistent with your values, with your goals, all that. Just in other words, keep. It's the exact same saying. Treat others as you want to be treated. Do unto others as you like to, if you have them do unto you. I had a brain fart there, guys. I'm out of speech mode, I guess. The wolf. Wolf. Say something. Wolf. Find equality in all. Wolf. Better species. Because we all find you equally worthless. He's been watching Full Metal Jacket too much. He has a point there. I said as a joke. I said as a joke sometimes, and I said it many times in Twitter. I'm like, as far as I'm concerned, you're all equally worthless, myself included. And I say that with some truth to it, but I only mean that in the grand scheme of things, in the greater picture, the bigger picture. So while they, I will say this, and for sure this time I'm going to sign out. But I'm gonna say this right now. I'm gonna say this right now. I serve the bigger picture. What, even though I don't serve the man upstairs, but I do serve. Here's where I stand on how I carry myself. I serve the bigger picture, the greater unknown. Whereas these guys are serving the greater good. And I said this a few times in the earlier streams. They don't know what the greater good is. They will never know because they're still stuck on self. If the greater good requires you to sacrifice somebody else, that's not the greater good. It's what you're willing to give up for the greater good. That is the greater good. And I still make the same analogy again. If my arm, my drawing arm, my dominant arm was caught in a trap and my wife was being attacked by, say, an animal or a person, and if I had the weapon in my hand that's going to free me from the trap, then I have to cut. Then logic would tell me I have to cut my arm, my dominant arm off to save my wife, because she is the greater good. You know what I'm saying? If you're willing to sacrifice somebody else and call it the greater good, that's not the greater good. And they like to preach the greater good. They don't know what the greater good is at all. So that's why I don't co-sign to what they're selling. And anyways, what are they selling if they always talking about some nonprofit? They like to think that they're the greatest overseers of what's morally liked by always talking about some nonprofit. Boy, if you don't get that nonsense out of my face and go buy something, supply and demand, fool. And matter of fact, what you doing with a job anyways? If you trying to do a non-profit organization, go outside and sing kumbaya with the hippies. There's your non-profit. Reality, I will say, if you feel in reality, their heads will explode. They can't take it. They're too comfortable with the cyber world. You know what? VR is going to be a big thing going forward in the future. So if they want, let's just say this: if we had the money to build a VR cafe for them, let them live out their lives in the virtual realm. That's my solution for them. If you want to live with a catheter in your nethers and a food tube to keep you alive, have at it. Because you can live out your futuristic fascist regime forever in that one. Y'all can have that. Me, I like Abba and Preach too. By the way, Dread, I like Abba and Preach. I don't watch their stuff that much because it tends to get a bit too samey. They always kind of on Jubilee and stuff like that. But when they do have something, they do have some. They do say some things that I don't always agree with, but they got something. Abba and Preach, they're a good duo. They're good people, by the way. They're good people. They're the middle ground. So, ooh, you know who else you should check out? Pierre XOXO, I think his name was Pierre. Check out Pierre XOXO. He's a middle ground too. Schooner said he's going, and you know what? Let's stop right there. For Leiaplussize, I'd like to thank her for joining me today. I know we had a lot of hiccups and mishaps and trip overs throughout the beginning of this stream, and kind of like a few speed bumps in the middle. But at the end, we got where we got. We were able to talk about what we were able to talk about what we were able to talk about. Hopefully, we'll pick this up again next Thursday. I'm sure of it. Actually, no, most definitely we'll pick it next Thursday. So look forward to next Thursday, guys, and also look forward to next Tuesday, where we will conclude X-Men Evolution review. I also like to thank Sound Engraver for joining me. Oh, hey there, Sound Engraver. I'd like to thank Troy Pacelli for joining me today as well. Thank you, Troy, Papacelli. I'd like to also thank Ma Pacelli, Nether's Network, Ma Pacelli, for joining me as well. Uh, who else was from the Big Greats joined? I think that's everybody from the Big Greats. Most of the Big Greats have shown up. So, and to those who, actually everybody who's been here, thank you for joining us today as well. Very appreciative of you guys sharing your thoughts as well. Melissa Harris, to you as well. Thank you for joining us today this time around, and instead of just leaving us and leaving us a goodbye. But like I said, not obligated to stick around and stay with us. But it's appreciative when you do. That goes for everybody. You're not obligated to stick around. I'm not holding you here. I don't have your life is not in my hands. I don't hold control of your lives basically. So when you do hear, it's a surprise, but it's also welcome. Let me repeat that. When you do show up, it's a surprise, but it's also a welcome. So surprise, but you're welcome to join us for whatever stream I have. I would also like to thank everybody else who has been a guest on my stream thus far. So far, we had Leiaplussize today. We had Matthew Flynn last week. We also, and of course, Schooner Tuna has been with us for a majority. I'm pretty sure everybody's loving Schooner Tuna and me bouncing off each other with the streams. I also like to thank Artificial Joni for joining me on the Q&A stream as well. So far, this is what's going to be the new thing so far. Hopefully, that's going to be the status quo for Wolf Command Rambles, which is anybody who's either a pilot or wingman that's going to join me in these topics. Because as much as I love soloing this, I like for somebody to bounce off with as well. And like I said, contact me on MeWe, contact me on Minds, contact me on Facebook and on Twitter. My Twitter is Dreadwolf 1990. And my Minds is always Wolf10. My MeWe is Wolf10. So contact me. I'm not gonna say my real name on Facebook, but you know who I am on Facebook. Truly competitive chats. Dredd says. He also says this. He says the greater good always ends bad because they will collectively sacrifice you instead of a piece of them. Exactly. So with that in mind, guys, thank you for everybody joining me today, and I will conclude with saying what's coming up today and next days. So later on is the Catholic Bible Geeks Bible Study. Also sharing the same day is the Professor Geek's book study of Kenobi with his pal Big Al. To Big Al, I say this. That was for you, Big Al. That's for you, buddy. Tomorrow, me, Mr. Matchstick, Edge Boomer, and Troy Pacelli will be hosting the new streaming series called, I think it's called Geek Fortress, or it's a word. Well, all four of us will be joining tomorrow on that streaming to talk about things that are not plagued with the SJW touch, if you will. We're going to be talking about things that are good. Like, as much as I like to talk about things that are bad, I have to agree with Matchstick. We also need to talk about the good. We've been talking about the bad too much. We need to talk about the good more. So that's where my streams are shifting now too, in a way. I'm shifting more towards the good. So I'm glad that he's bringing that up now, and I'm also glad I'm actually shifting that too, because we need to have some positivity in our lives. We need to have some positivity, guys. Be the bright shining star like Neil Star. the Breeding Star. I mean, Saturday will be Ma Pacelli's rewatch 300. So tune in for that one. Sunday will be me and Owen Lister talking Guyver around 8 p.m. Eastern time, sharing the same slot with Study Hall with H Boomer and Troy Pacelli. Later on that evening will be me and Mr. Matchstick doing a rewatch. I'm not sure which rewatch it is, but definitely doing a rewatch there. Monday will be Sound Engravers. Oh, hey there, Sound Engraver. Will be Sound Engravers Monday Night Muse. Definitely check out her streams on Mondays. She has very well thought out, well timed discussions about certain things art related. The good, the bad, the ugly, but there's also a fourth one, the positive. So definitely check her out. Get some tips, get some ideas. Yes, I know it's mostly music based, but I'm pretty sure you can find some stuff that can help you in your art from her discussions. Tuesday, well, you already know what happens Tuesday. Thursday, you already know what's going on Thursday. But I will talk about Wednesday. Wednesday, Green Lion Girl will do her gaming stream. I'm pretty sure she's continuing Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I'm all for it as well. Sharing that slot is Songs with Birdman. Early that morning is Fanman returning. He has recently done it yesterday, but he has consistently bring back Second Cup of Cafe. So tune in for him early in the morning for that. If you guys are early birds, which I know I am. So check that out. With that being said, I love you guys. Again, heed my message, heed my speeches, but also follow your paths, build your industries, even if it's small, build your industries, build your dreams, be your industries, be your dreams. Be the change. Build the change and make sure you do right by others and others are doing right by you. And final message again from my father figure / role model, Morgan Freeman. The only way we'll ever combat racism, just stop thinking about it. There you go. Just stop thinking about it. Dread. You need to be here more often. You got some good jokes, man. But anyways, this has been your Wolf Commander, Wolf Media. I'm your werewolf. Take care, everybody.